Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for the regular meeting of the Dearborn Heights City Council to be called to order at 6:19 p.m. Madam Clerk, can you please take roll call?
Yes, Hassan Ahmad,
Present.
Mo Beydoun,
Here.
Nancy Breyer. Here. Robert Constant is absent. Denise Malinowski Maxwell.
Sign. Remember, the sign doesn't say on.
It doesn't say on the air.
That sign.
It's not recording.
Well,
It's
it's
recording
recording on
here.
Zoom and just
Here.
see we're on the air.
Okay.
We're recording though.
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay. Here.
Hassan Tav
Present.
and Tom Wenzel.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Today I'm going to have Vince lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Vince. Next up, we have agenda approval.
Council Chair.
Councilman
Chair.
Saab.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City
Hang on
Council.
Council Chair.
Well, you have to do agenda approval first.
Yeah, yes. I need to
He
do
needs
it
to do
because I have,
Well, it's okay. He can do it. You can start for discussion.
no, just I need to add the,
Yeah, let him read the agenda approval first.
Go ahead,
the
it's fine. Go
recommendation.
ahead.
But go ahead, read this.
Okay, okay. You have something else, go ahead. Agenda approval,
Council Chair,
yes.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the agenda for the regular meeting of February 11, 2025 as submitted with the addition of claim 6-45 for keeping creating LLC in the amount of $2,800.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Saab. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, I'd like to walk something on real quick. Would I put that at 11B?
It depends on what it is.
It would be a discussion regarding a resident's billing.
Billing, you don't want to bring it up during comments?
No.
You want to do an action on it?
Yes.
Then it would be under city officials.
Which would
Let me see
be,
what it would be.
would it be
FG? 9, EFG. 9G,
9G?
yes.
Okay, with the walk-on of 9G, Councilman, will you amend your motion?
Yes.
Councilman Saab, will you second that?
Yes.
To add on what?
To add
is
on
the-
9G.
What is it?
Uh,
Resident concern?
Resident
Concern,
concern.
okay.
Council Chair,
Yes, sir.
what about an issue with the claims?
What is it?
Hassan Saab, no.
Yeah, I
That's not, we're not at claims, we're on agenda approval
Alright,
right now.
agenda.
Okay, so, okay.
You can
Yeah.
talk about
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
it. Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, we have the approval of the minutes.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
I move that Dearborn Heights City Council approve the minutes from the special meeting of January 28, 2025 as outlined in 4A.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, we have 4B, minutes of the regular meeting of January 28, 2025.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
Move that Dearborn Heights City Council approve the minutes for the regular meeting of January 28, 2025 as outlined in 4B.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Let's do that again. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you, guys. Next up, we have public hearings and comments on agenda, well, not agenda items. I'm so used to saying that. You can actually talk about anything you'd like. We are going to start off in person since we see Mr. Fuad was up. You have 3 minutes.
Might take longer.
Okay. Well,
I don't do politics. I do actions.
and your address,
Just the street you live on.
25571
Just the
Avondale
street
Street.
name.
Avondale
Sure.
Street.
I do action, I care about community, I care about citizens, and I care about service. Many of you I don't know, many of you I consider close friends. I've not attended a city council meeting in several years. However, unfortunately, today I'm moved to attend this one. I have a beautiful wife and 3 children ages 10, 9, and 5 years old. Like all other citizens, we pay our taxes. We serve our purpose in this community, and we give back wherever we can. I voted for several, if not all of you, actually, to represent myself and all of the other citizens of this community. And I have the utmost confidence that we have the right people in those chairs. That said, this past Saturday morning, we had an unwanted and uninvited visitor in our driveway at 4 o'clock in the morning. Pulls up into my driveway, blaring loud rap music as I would have played when I was young. Wakes me up, wakes my wife up. It's 4 a.m. I have a gun, don't know how to use it, don't want to know how to use it, never in my life wanted to know how to use it. And this week I have classes to learn how to use it. That music, we have no idea why it was there. We have no idea why this gentleman was there. Our house is pretty far off of the street. We have somewhat of a longer driveway. And this individual had to be there intentionally, whether he was drunk, high, whatever it might have been, he was there. We watched out of the window for a few minutes, obviously concerned because we have a 10, 9, and 5-year-old, could care less about myself in that situation. Called the police, and we could not have had a dispatcher that cared less, quite frankly. We were not assured that help was on the way in any immediate moments. We were just assured that it was on the list. And we're busy at the moment, and we'll get there when we can. Okay? 8 minutes goes by. 8 minutes. I'm not sure what's happening in the city. You guys can check the log for what's happening in the police department. That's a higher priority than somebody in somebody else's driveway. To me, that's a threat. I don't know if anybody else here would dispute that, but that's a threat to my family. So I called the police again, and she cared less this time. And she hung up on me this time. The best advice I ever got in my life: don't open the door. Cool, thanks. Right? Okay, I've got a 10, a 9, and a 5-year-old, just to remind everybody here. So when I needed the city the most, it wasn't there for me. When I needed the city the most, it was not there for me. Okay? That leads me to believe that when others in this community needed the city the most, it probably wasn't there for them. I don't have the luxury, guys, of sitting in the back office and understanding the city management and all the goings on there. I really don't. Nor do I want it. I fully comprehend all of the disputes that happen behind closed doors. Well, I don't fully comprehend them, but I follow them closely enough, as I, again, know many of you, and I follow along closely in the community and on social media, etc. I'm counting on all of you, though, to resolve this. That's what you signed up for when you put your name on that ballot, all of you. While this resolution plays out of whatever disputes you guys have here behind closed doors, you guys have a duty to the city to keep it safe and keep it well-staffed. Without the safety of this city, the ethics don't matter, quite frankly. I implore all of you to put your disputes where they belong in the priority list and come together in agreement that our police department needs more and better resources. And I implore all of you to resolve that first and foremost, above and all. Council Chairman Beydoun, I love you to death. I don't even know you as well as I want to yet, and I already love you to death. But I'm here to hold you accountable, because that's what you put your name on that ballot for. As leaders of this esteemed council and this city, I'm counting on all of you. I have an immense amount of respect for the job that you guys do. I lead with love always. I have nothing but love. And I don't care who's accused of what, I still love all. But this city needs more, and it needs better. I pay my taxes, and I expect to be responded to in a situation of emergency. I expect swift, and I expect massive action to resolve the needs of this police department. Chief Ahmed Haidar deserves it. I know that man, and I know the action he takes in his life. And I know if he's given the resources, I know how well the city will be taken care of. You have what you have right now. Add to it. Make it better. Enhance it. Protect your city. Protect your citizens. It's your duty and it's your responsibilities. God bless you, and I appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I will say, Mr. Bazey, I'm so sorry that happened. Nobody should be treated in such a way, especially of your caliber and as a resident. So my heart is with you, your boys, and your wife. Please forgive us. I will have those conversations. I will get with Mr. Haydar and see what took place on that night. I know I reached out to you. I saw something on social media. I will continue to do our investigation.
I should add that Chief Haydar came over, paid me a visit personally. He's all over it.
Thank you. How you doing, sir?
How you doing today?
3 minutes, please state your name, the city you reside in, the street that you live on.
I asked for an extra minute.
Sorry, sir, I did not see that.
Yes, you did.
No, sir.
Anyways, you don't want to give me an extra minute, no problem. First of all, my name is Issa Shaheen. Recognize me as Issa Shaheen. Call me Issa Shaheen.
Please, sir, continue.
First of all, I just wanted to come over here. Just a couple of concerns regarding Dearborn police when they came to the scene. Nobody knew that this was a Dearborn Heights issue regarding the 16-year-old. TCD put it as Dearborn. People are looking, okay, this incident happened in Dearborn. Why is Dearborn all over this? What was the reason the 16-year-old was not recognized today before you did your comments and everything? He doesn't exist because he's Iraqi? That's shameful. 16-year-old was killed. At least a moment of silence. Respect. Something that we should know about. No, we forgot about him. He's gone, 16 years old. At least take a moment of silence.
Would you like
No, hold on. That's not my job. I'm going to do it next when I'm done. Before I'm done, you're going to do it for me. Thank you. Just to let everybody know that 16-year-old has a family. What are we going to do about the reckless driving? What motion are you going to put? What resolution you're going to put? What's the police department going to put? It's not the parents' responsibility too. Hold on.
Nothing from the audience, please, guys. Nothing from the audience.
Just hear me out for a second.
Unfinished his time, please.
Is there anybody going to the schools talking to these young kids? They need a person to go to, you go advocate for these kids, you speak to them. Sometimes kids do not listen to their parents, but they listen to other people. Is there any programs for these kids so they won't sit there and get in trouble? They have a person to sit there and talk to. See, people understand your family can be the best family ever and raise the best kid, but at the end of the day, there's going to be his friends that influence him to sit there and reckless drive. But how is the city going to sit there and hold responsibility? Every kid that gets a ticket, the judges are giving him a slap on the wrist. That's what's happening. And kids are getting killed. This is not, if a kid's 16 years old to 25, they should have a better place to do, like picking up garbage, doing something so they won't come back and get tickets. It's a problem. You guys have to address this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Owen. I agree, and I do believe that we should have a moment of silence. It was going to be something at the end, but I would like to do a moment of silence for the young boy who lost his life in the crash. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Owen, for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you, Council Chair. Actually, I had it in my notes to do with the council comments, but thank you.
It's okay. Anyone else in the audience? I know, ma'am, you asked for an additional minute. Please give her 4 minutes. Please state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on.
Rose Tripepi, 2 Lane Street, Dearborn Heights, Wayne County. January the 7th, 1972, I moved to the city. I was very happy. My whole family lived around here. That's 53 years ago. I feel I need to leave now. I think it's time. The city has gone to hell in a handbag, and I really can't handle it.
Nothing from the audience.
I don't want to keep repeating what everybody's saying. They keep saying that the city has fallen apart in the last 3.5 years. Wrong. It fell apart 4 years before that. When Mr. Bazey got elected on council, things started going down. He gave the council people a hard time. He gave the mayor a hard time at that time. You don't know how many mayors I have been through, and I've been friends with all of them, whether I liked them or not. I have been cordial to them because they are my mayor. This one, I wouldn't give you the time of day for. I'm sorry. Those of you that remember know the mess that happened when Dan was mayor. Dan wasn't right, he wasn't always perfect, but he was your mayor, and he did not do the stuff that this man's doing. This one's a dictator, and he wants to be surrounded by people that are bullies. Well, I'm sorry, you will not bully me, because I will come right back at you. What I'm asking for is, please, this is an election year. Pay attention to what people say. Just because I say something doesn't mean it's right. Lynn might say the same thing. You kind of want to, but then as soon as Tom says it, you better take heed when three people come up with the same story. Listen to what they're saying, because this cannot go on. And as all of you know me, I'm sorry, but I would like to fight for you, but I'm getting old and I'm getting tired. And I don't think I can do it anymore. So I want people to pay attention. I want them to listen to what their hearts say, listen to what your friends tell you, and go vote for your heart, not for me.
Thank you, Rose. Anyone else in the audience? How you doing, sir? Please state your name, the city you reside in, street that you live on.
Rosemary.
Rosemary. Zohair Abdelhaq. I can speak about any subject which agenda.
Correct.
I think the council and the treasurer received a letter from the city attorney, Mr. Roger, accusing some residents, including myself, and a few other people, that we are conspiring against him and conspiring to remove him from the office he's holding. And he mentioned several times that the city council goes after him because he is an African American. I sat with Mr. Roger many, many times, and I knew him for quite probably 4 or 5 years. I was so astonished that he used that kind of tactic to intimidate you, intimidate the resident, and probably set the city for lawsuit. Maybe he might be able to get some money from the city. It is shameful on him and his caliber
I'm
to go.
going to ask you to refrain from putting any harmful words against Roger. He's not an elected official.
He's not.
Let's
He can
refrain
sue
from
me if he wants.
free speech. Say what you want.
Because what he did was really, really as low as it comes from a lawyer. We are resident, we are his friends. I always been cordial to him. I always respected him. I always called him a friend. For him to go and accuse us on conspiring against him, on what ground, on what evidence he goes and accuses residents of that, and he asked Mr. Van der Plow to investigate that. I am going to ask this council and ask Mr. Roger and ask Mr. Van der Plow to investigate the mayor when he forged 2 invoices for Zida Cook. He changed the original invoice from $2,250 to 2 invoices so he doesn't come to you. And he refused to give me the names of the attendees of the training, refused to give me the place where the training took place. Even he was there, he was present, and I know at least of 5 people who were there. If he wants to investigate and be truthful to us and deserve the money he received from us, he should be truthful to the resident, to the council, and to be basically holding that oath he took when he became a lawyer dear to his heart, and not to use those tactics against residents. Start investigating this mayor with all the shit he's doing in the city.
Oh, Zohair Abdelhaq.
Point of order,
Come
Council
on,
Chair.
guys. Let's have a good meeting today. Thank you so much. Anyone else from the audience?
Council Chair, I was going to make a statement. As a resident, do I have to go up there?
You
Or,
never have to go up there, Councilman.
oh, that's the other residents go first.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on. How you doing, sir?
Good. My name is Juan Melendez, and I live in 4426 Madison, Dearborn Heights. And most of the people here know me. Mr. Council Weinstrom, Council Byers, and this lady here. And I have a problem with the neighbor for over 13 years. He stole the fence that was there. And I have paperwork from the mortgage. Then I bought the house. There was no encroachment. But this person is still in the same way that he was in 2012. They go over there, talk to him. He just pulled that out. 2 or 3 weeks later, he go back. That lady over there saw the trailer between the two houses. And nobody having done nothing. I got 4,600 square feet. And I went to the Wayne County to certify a surveyor surveyed and a half lately. I think it was in 2021 or 2020. And I asked the ROD, the city of Dearborn Heights asked me if I'm going to put a fence. They asked my neighbor. My neighbor don't have veto in my property. Or you guys, they're here. I had told the neighbor, then I had to told him where I'm going to install it. He cut the fence. And I don't want to install the fence. I want that you guys that made him, they put the fence that was there like it was. Because there was no reason. It was not his property. He got no paperwork. He destroyed it. And he just put a fence in there. It's in my property for the benefits that bring the industrial trailers between the two houses. He bumped the house once, and my insurance fixed the house. And he continued. He thinks he owns that side of the right side of my house. I want to see an attorney. I went to Neil Dubois. He asked me for $7,000. And then the first thing he did, we're going to take these people, that guy, and the city to the 3rd District Court. What is going with the court here? They are corrupt like the other administration?
Thank you,
Or
sir.
the corruption continue?
Thank you, sir. Your time is up.
Okay, thank you very much.
I will do this for me real quick. George, can you get his phone number? I have it. Okay, have him fill out his first name and his phone number. Don't worry about the email address, and then just email me his phone number tomorrow. Not tomorrow, let's wait it like a day. I'm sure we're gonna get a bunch of emails about all the amendments we've made, so I don't want it to get all caught up inside of it. We're learning curve. How you doing, ma'am?
Good, how are you?
Please state your name, the city you reside in, the street that you live in. I believe you asked me for an extra minute?
Yep. I don't know if I'll need it or not, but
Honestly, there were so many, I forget.
Angela Venegas, Dwight Street, Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Gonna do my same repetitive thing. Airbnb now. There we go.
It's your phone.
A week,
She's okay.
a week now in Airbnb at my house. I spoke with Roger before the meeting. He claims, which I've never seen, that he has given you guys a thing to work with, an ordinance for Airbnbs that's 16 pages long, stating, that we can kind of cut all these things down. I really have an issue with this. This has been a week now. No parking in the streets, blocking driveways. I showed him video. I went shopping last Thursday. I came home, my driveway was halfway blocked, a car full of groceries, and I pay taxes, and I have to park down the street to unload my car. They're on my grass. I called the police. They keep blocking the sidewalk, and instead of the police, and I love the police, they come out and they talk to the people at the Airbnb. They move the car, and 6 hours later, the car was back blocking the sidewalk again. So if they don't respect the police, you can imagine they have no respect for the neighbors around the house. The noise, it's ridiculous, picking up papers. My lawn is messed up again. I'm just tired of it. So I'm looking at you guys to take responsibility and either get after Roger, or Roger says he's giving you guys stuff, but something needs to be done. And I think we just need to abolish, no Airbnbs, nothing. We live in a residential area. I don't live in a commercial area that I want a Super 8 motel next to my house, period. Then I want to talk about another situation that happened at the Heights at Kroger with a sign that was spray painted on a building. And the sign said, I'm sorry, you guys, F whites. That's what it said. Personally, it bothers me, but not to the point where I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But what disgusted me was it sat up there for over 24 hours. Nobody took it down. And I sat up there at 7:30 at night. There's that little Dino Land, watching parents walk out of there with their kids, having to look at that trash on a building. And I've got a hold of several council people and was told I couldn't do anything about it because it's personal property. And I get that, but somebody could have hung a sheet over it or something. And my question to you is, it finally got cleaned up the next morning. Who cleaned it up? Do you guys know? And if it was our DPW department, shame on us. The owner of that strip mall should be held accountable, and you guys need to start looking into this. Because it's not our responsibility to take care of personal property. As much as that offended me, people need to start being held accountable. Just like this gentleman said who was up here talking about the incident that happened to his house. I've been up here telling you guys, when you call our police department, the prompt is so long. And when you're in an emergency situation, 30 seconds seems like 5 minutes. If you press this, if you're trying to get a district court, do this. It's not till you get to 3. Action needs to be taken. Things need to change. You guys, seriously, we all come up here and repetitive to you guys. And it's this administration. Where's our mayor again? He never, ever shows up. He's supposed to be the leader. People voted for him. He needs to grow some and get his butt in here. That's all I'm saying. Thanks.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you. I want to make, just for a quick statement to this body, and we are here. You guys voted for us to lead. Every single one of us here took on that responsibility, even the clerk and our treasurer. But there are certain aspects that we can do. There are certain things that the administration needs to do. And like when things happen in this administration, you know, sometimes like it seems like we're being the ones that are being told, and I'm not saying that's what you're doing, Ange, but it's like we're being the ones like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? This Councilman Wanso, Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell, Councilman Ahmad, myself, Councilman Saab, Councilwoman Breyer, and Councilman Constant, we're all part-time. We signed up here to make sure we're being fiscally responsible and answering to residents and helping you guys to the best of our ability. I think every single one of us on here, I can say wholeheartedly, care and do that. So I cannot tell you one council member or woman that does not answer the residents' phone calls. I can't say what's going on with the administration, but I can tell you as somebody that is friends with everybody on here, we take everyone's calls. And we do our best to try to get things out there. May not be done by, with the snap of a finger. We try our best. And I just want that for those at home and those in the audience to know that we are doing our best. And it's been an uphill battle for the last 4 years. I can tell you for myself at least, 4 years I've been fighting the same exact song and dance. And I can tell you this council here is united, unanimously.
Council Chair?
Councilwoman?
Yeah, and unfortunately, from experience, usually when somebody comes to a council meeting and gets up there and speaks, we're their last resort. They've already exhausted every other effort in trying to resolve their situation, and they're just desperate. So it's not against us. We're last chance, I guess, is the way I see it.
Yeah. Like the gentleman with his fence. Rick, Tamal, you and I, if you're listening, I'm sure you are, we're gonna get on this conversation. We're gonna have a conversation, Rick and I. We're gonna talk with this gentleman. We're gonna figure it out. Right? Kind of like Mr. Dancy always says.
I think it should involve ordinance too.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Councilman, Councilman Wenzel, you were next.
Yeah, if there's no one else in the audience. Thank you. What's that?
Well, we're gonna go to Zoom next, so go ahead, Councilman.
I'm not 100% prepared because I wasn't planning on coming to this meeting. We had a death in the family and the funerals today, so I got some notes I jotted down. First of all, I did have planned to say something about the young man that was killed in the car crash. I actually took my family by the site and I've got a new driver. My daughter is just been driving for 3 months. We took her by there. We parked in the parking lot and looked at it, and I told her this is what happens when you speeding, reckless driving, and the whole family was just like devastated. They said, "This means someone died right there," and I said, "Yeah, someone died right there from speeding," and it really hit home, especially the 16-year-old. And I was going to have a moment of silence for him, but we already did. And another issue I was going to bring up is the tragic death of the 2 children in the van at the parking structure at Greektown Casino, who froze to death. 2 children froze to death. And I brought up something a couple of meetings ago. I wanted it on the agenda, but I unsatisfactorily presented it. And it was going to be a resolution or a start conversation on a 24-hour shelter someplace in Dearborn Heights, other than the police station, because I know you can go there. A lot of people don't like to go there because it's the police station. In the wintertime, there's severe cold weather. In the summer, there's heat, there's power outages. We need to come up with something. We need to get together with our emergency manager, our fire department, our police department, and come up with something where we can provide some kind of shelter in emergency situations. And I'm going to follow up on that. And unfortunately, when I heard this, it just hit home. And so if we can have just a real brief moment of silence for those 2 young children that lost their life by freezing to death. Thank you. This past week or so, I was listening to the last meeting on my earbuds as I was working around the house. And one thing that I took away from it, especially during the public comments from the residents, was a cry for help, a plea for unity, a plea for our leadership to work together to do the right things. And everyone that came up to that meeting, they all said the same thing. There was all kinds of miscommunications and things like we need to get together to move our city forward. Sometimes the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing in this city. And we can't ask our residents to do the right things and become united if the leadership isn't. That's why I'm asking that we have a special meeting, a unity conference, if you will. I consider this problem we're having a personnel issue. So I'm asking the clerk and the city council to set up immediately this meeting. At this conference, it can be closed or open, and we should have all the elected officials, including our judges, all department heads, everyone else interested in attending. We have, we have an issue with communication here. And I'm asking that all of you encourage all our leadership to go full speed ahead with this unity conference. My recommendation before our residents ask this to our residents to do the right thing, and we need to lead by example. I mean, we don't know, like I said, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. We just found out today that we had hired a new Parks and Recreation director at a meeting here, and this is something that should have been brought out earlier. I mean, Parks and Rec and youth sports is really close to my heart, but we need to get together and talk. I mean, we could have DPW director, our fire chief, and we run the city basically, and we've never all met together. It's always one here, one there. Somebody might have a suggestion about the police department. I mean, our police department, I think, is number one. I mean, you can have the best of everything in the city. You have an unsafe city, you're screwed. It doesn't do you any good to put all your efforts into Parks and Recreation or anything else. If your city isn't safe, then forget it. So we should put all of our concentration in our police department. Our new chief, I mean, this is his first meeting, and congratulations.
Acting chief.
Yeah, well, he's the chief, right? He's the chief. So, but I want to get this conference together, and I've mentioned it before to a couple of directors about getting together and doing this, and I think it's something we could do regularly, But I think it's something that the council chair and the clerk could get together. I don't know if it's be a closed session where you can speak your mind and not be afraid for
That would violate the Open
repercussions.
Meeting Act, but I think we could schedule,
Well,
I just,
it's a personnel issue.
A town hall.
Yeah, or a town hall or something. I mean.
you can do a town hall. That
Yeah,
doesn't have
I
to be
mean-
a city, it doesn't have to be city-sponsored.
Well, yeah, have it at the golf course. Yeah. But, you know, I think we need to get together. I mean, that's all it is. I mean, all of our problems seem to be, he didn't know what she was doing, she didn't know what he was doing, they did this without telling us. I mean, it'd be nice to know what the clerk has in mind for us in the future. Maybe she has some ideas. Or DPW director say, hey, you know what, I really like this. Or the fire chief saying, you know, this is what I really like to have. I'd like to have this or that. And, oh, you know, I know someone that has a business that does that. And just so we know what each other are doing instead of, you know, it's a big secret behind closed doors, things are getting done. Involve the residents because, you know, this is like a sports team. The residents are the owners of the sports team. They hire us. They elect us. We in turn hire directors, and it's a full team effort. I don't care if you're, you know, vacuuming the floors or the water bottle person on a sports team. Without either one, that team is not going to function properly. So we need to get together, and I'm recommending, I don't know how we should go about doing this further, getting this meeting together, but I think it'd be pretty cool and pretty interesting to do, just to meet, because we run the city and we have never all met together. That's kind of insane, ridiculous.
Thank you, Councilman. I think that's a great idea. And just to kind of echo a little bit, if you don't know this, Councilman Ahmad actually scheduled a meeting when he first got onto city council with all elected officials and the administration. What ended up happening was, now that it's just public, Councilman Ahmad was backdoored, and everybody met, and Councilman Ahmad was not invited. So he attempted to do this almost 3.5 years ago. But I just wanted to share that with you, and my love is with Councilman Ahmad.
So
Anyone else?
Basically, you're telling best of luck, Councilman.
No, I'm all with him, but it happened, you know.
Make it happen.
He tried to do this, and he brought all elected officials from the state, from the Senate, from the federal level, and it happened. He just was invited.
You know, Council Chair, you know, we have a problem with following up on stuff. I mean, the Airbnb thing, I mean, that was really hot last meeting, boom, 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 and then it just went off. I had a resolution on it, and it kind of just died off. I mean, you know, we have all kinds of issues going on in the city. I think we need to have some kind of a board up here, follow-up items.
Checklist.
You know, and someone says, oh, we're gonna look up on that, you know, write it down, okay, and it's there all the time, people see it.
No, the
Hey, it's
clerk has
been
it.
2 months before you even acted on that, you know? Not out of sight, out of mind.
Yep, I agree with you, Councilman.
Council
All right,
Chair-
Council
Council
Chair,
Chair.
come on, guys. Come on. We are in public comments. Council spokesman. I'm going to go to Vince since he's been waiting up there, and then I will go to you, and then I will go to Councilman Saab. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Vince.
Vince Trepkowski, Columbia Street. I want to say something about our police department. I actually want to say a couple of things. We used to have over 80 officers on duty when we had a full police department. You can't run a police department when it's half empty. The mayor's been told, asked to hire people. If this mayor cannot do a job, this council has to remove him from the body.
Point of order, please.
It's-
Come on, guys.
How many times has he ignored your orders? Any other city would have gotten rid of him by now. Stop dragging your feet and get rid of him. All right? That's one thing. And good luck getting enough officers to come back to this city because it's already got a ruined reputation. You got your hands full, sir. And I know that because I used to work over there. I know those gentlemen. Oh, good. You're gonna need more than that.
Losing 3.
Second thing, what's this, item 8B? U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, River Rouge feasibility study. Is this another study regarding the Ecorse Creek also? And if so, how many studies are we gonna put into this project? Is this part of the Ecorse Creek? Does it
No,
have
it's
anything
not.
to do with
It's
it?
not.
Or is it strictly the Rouge?
Rouge, yeah.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
It's still another study, though,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be expensive, I can guarantee that, too.
studies.
All right, thank you for your time.
The most educated staff.
Anyone else from the audience? Hey, ma'am, please state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Renee from Annapolis Street and Dearborn Heights. I wasn't going to say anything. I was trying to not say anything, but seeing all the excitement today with all of these people rising up, you know. So a couple things I want to say is, number one, the city council can only do so much, you know, and I've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks, probably every time I come up here, the citizens have to step up. The citizens have to step up, you know, with the neighbor problem, with whatever's going on. If you have to band together or have a conversation with that neighbor or take them a chicken dinner or whatever you got to do, somebody's got to step up. You know, it can't be on these guys. These guys just pass the resolutions and stuff, and then they pass it to the other departments. And Councilman Wenzel, you held my chart that day. If you need a copy of that chart of who's got the responsibilities, you know, you can have a copy of that chart. But the citizens are following up now. So this isn't like anger at you. It's frustration. That I don't feel it's anger at you guys. It's frustration, but they're starting to recognize where the stoppage is, where the blockages are. And so this is really good, you know, and I told you I pray for the city all the time, and I pray that the citizens would start being aware of what's going on. If we can get more people in the city to start watching the YouTube city council meetings, I'm sure that they'll start getting educated on what's the process, and these things will start moving, and we'll start unblocking the blockages in the city. But it's not going to come through anger. It's not going to come through making somebody else responsible. It's not going to become, you know, the gentleman Juan with the fence idea. You know, I would take by now I would have hired a big boulder and put it right on the fence line. I would have just hired a boulder and put it there so the guy couldn't bring an industrial truck in his driveway onto his property. But this is the thing that everybody wants the city to do something. Do something, get together and put together a fund so this guy can afford this big boulder and sit it right on the property line. You know, this is exciting. I'm glad for the new police chief or interim chief, acting chief. I don't know what happened to the other one. I know the last meeting, things were really hot against that guy. I don't know what all he did or what, but I thought it was very good to see some movement going on. So that means somebody was listening to the citizens. I'm really encouraged. I just want to say, don't blame each other. See if you can get together and come up with a solution with your neighbors, with the city council, work together. That's the only way we're going to get this thing moved. You can't do it by force. You got to work together with the police, you know. You got to hold that lady, that 911 lady, accountable for how she treated a citizen. You know, something's got to be, you know, whether she's reprimanded or whatever happens. I don't know what the conversation was. Little things at a time, You know, that's all I got to say.
Thank you so much, Renee.
Welcome.
God bless you. Next up, Roger.
Yes, I just wanted to respond to Mr. Wenzel. I think the issue of.
Point of order, please. Nothing from the audience.
Following up with what Angie had said, I would just, Mr. Director Dishroon did take the time, we both actually took the time to listen to the other young lady who also, after the council meeting where they commented on the Airbnbs, to pull up the properties and look at them to see if they were actual Airbnbs. We saw on the deeds that they said no Airbnbs. But we want to know that we have taken it seriously. We took some extra steps. We've talked with ordinance and how to coordinate with buildings to enforce the ones that they've targeted. It's not something brushed under the rug. We are looking at it and moving forward. I would also say in terms of the young man who passed, and you know, I think impulse control. I think working with DHPD. I'm impressed. Even today, we had meetings with new strategies to target areas where we have drag racing, groups organizing together to do a lot of stuff that hurts our citizens. With this new chief, we've targeted new plans I'm excited about. I'm waiting to get my my gang injunctions off the ground to target groups that get together in certain areas of our cities and in a 2-3 block area to break it up, to stop the groups from gaining access to each other and testing each other. And like I said, We've met with probation to add impulse control, and we're doing a safety class that I guess the city had back maybe 10 years ago, where the courts would order the kids to go to a safety program. I've talked to the Prosecutors Association to get some of their materials so we can show the parents and the kids together the dangers of speeding and the actions that lead to the deaths of our young people. And I'm tired. I've been in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Qatar, Egypt, where I've talked with families who've lost their kids just for speeding. In Europe, in the U.S., dying for speeding. Not drugs, not alcohol, just speeding and impulse control and lack of decision-making. So to myself, the chief DHPD, it is a serious issue to our courts, and we're working on it.
Thank you so much, Roger. Councilman Saab. Guys, just so you know, we're still on public comments.
Just two things. I want to echo sound with Councilman Winslow and back to Roger. Councilman Winslow, I don't know what fantasy world you live in to get everybody together. To me, you can't even get the administration to send you back an email. So we'll stay with that. And Roger, honestly, I love your speeches, but I wish you took more action and got stuff put in front of us and stuff that residents have asked and we've passed. Instead of giving speeches and lectures, I wish you took more action and less talking with the whole administration. I wish the chief, the new acting chief, the best, but speaking on a podium or me speaking behind a mic is not doing anything for our residents. And clearly, we've been waiting on the Airbnb ordinance for over a year now. And you said you gave us a 16-page ordinance. Yes, it does not benefit the city whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And guys, we're not doing back and forth, guys. I'm so sorry. We spent 1 hour so far just on public comments. Anyone else in the audience? We're going to go over to Zoom. I know we have Barb here. Please. Please, ma'am, state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Barbara Rennie. I live on Detroit Street, Dearborn Heights. Besides the Airbnb mess, I feel your pain, Angela. As I've said for 9 months now, it's only going to affect people when they have one next to them. This is BS, but I'm going to speak about something else. I'm not going to get my blood pressure crazy. I would like to speak about invoice number 22. It's for an attorney. This is on some kind of debacle going on with a council member and the person that lives behind them in a fence. This is all civil. I want to know why us being residents that we're paying the attorney bills for this person, not the council person, but for the other person. Why is we as citizens paying her bills? This is civil. It should have never even, and I'd also like to know, since this started last June, I would like to know if you as a body can get together everything and how much money has every attorney has made off of this. And no offense to Mr. Farina, I'm not going to call you Roger today, but Mr. Farina.
Thank you.
Has he received any money for this? And this is, like I said, this is civil. This has nothing to do with us. If I was fighting my neighbor, I would have to pay my bills and they would pay theirs. This is ridiculous. So if anybody's got any answers, I'm ready.
Council Chair. Council Chair, this is an ordinance violation, so it is involving the city. A ticket was issued, and that's why the city.
Thank you.
Council
Thank
Chair,
Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to say something. It involves me. I've paid all of my legal fees. There is no ordinance violation. I have proved to everybody that I did legally pull a permit before I installed the fence. I did get a survey. The fence is within the parameter of my property.
Council Chair, I ask that we not discuss.
I'm speaking, please.
Roger, hang on.
I might as well,
You
because
can speak
it's
next.
been told to everybody anyways. I need to set the record straight.
Nothing from the audience.
If most, an ordinance violation, it would be a $130 ticket. Today, the residents are paying the legal fees, not mine, for over $2,000. That's what's on our agenda today. And there's got to be more, because it's not all the dates on there that we had to go to court. Like I said, I've proven everything. Everything should be cleared, but it's just a technicality at this point.
Thank you so much. Anyone else on Zoom?
Tim.
Tim Emery. Tim, how you doing? Even though I said your name, my son's on there. Hi, Bubba. Tim Emery, please state your name, the street you live on.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. I'm doing it on my phone tonight instead of my computer. Tim Emery, Eaton, at Dearborn Heights. I'm sure you're all aware of the Westwood Community School District. Our Board of Education, we have the thing that we all get along. We do things. We work out problems. Every year we have a board retreat. We're going to have one in March. We sit down, we talk about any situations we might have in the district. We usually do it on a Saturday. I've brought it up to you guys before, years ago, not just you guys, but previous city councils. Look into it.
Thank you so much, Tim.
If the mayor doesn't want to come, go on without him. I mean, you guys got to start. If you need help, I'll help you. You know that. So
You're the
think
best.
about it.
You're the best, Tim.
I like that. Maybe we can do a paintball game.
What kind of game?
Paintball?
Paintball. I'm okay. I like my skin. I'm not ready for no paintball.
Yeah, how'd that go?
We can play ping pong.
Ping pong?
Thank you, Tim. I think Ali B's on there. Is he raising his hand?
Yeah, Ali B is next, please. Can you put him,
He's raising his hand.
can you sign consent mode by doing so he can speak,
Hey,
please?
please. Nothing from the audience. Thank you. Next up, nobody else in the audience. Is that correct?
Right here. I'd like to speak again.
Please, sir, your time is up. Anybody else in the audience?
I got an extra minute, please. I got a lot to say at that.
Good evening, Mike Blackburn, Arnold Street, Dearborn Heights. Question is, because I haven't heard anything about 9, 10 months, is there any updates with the fire department and the $10 million grant? Because if I remember from last year, we had to have something moving, whether it was plans, property, something before the end of the year, before we lost it. And I was wondering what the update, if we still have the grant, maybe State Rep Burns can come down and give us an update.
Council Chair.
Real quickly, I just want you to know, I spoke, Chief Brogan and I, he's gonna give us an update today. And he's gonna give us about the mitigation that's happening at the fire station. So I spoke with him and, he's supposed to give us an update tonight.
I just talked
Thank
to
you.
her.
Okay.
You wanna do it now or? Yeah. It's whatever you want. There it is. Are you yielding the rest of your time?
I have another thing, but if
Okay.
he wants to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Also on current claim 622, did you guys ever approve that law firm? I mean, $30,000 is a lot of money that was spent. And according to an article in the Arab American News, that attorney had his law license suspended for 10 or 12 violations that he had. I mean, is that the type of people you want representing the city?
Which one are you talking about?
22.
622.
22 again.
Yeah, I saw it.
That article was published in 2023 in the Arab American News. I thought you guys had to approve attorneys and fees and everything else, and I don't think he was ever approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we move over to Chief Brogan, I know we have one more in the Zoom. We can unmute him. Go ahead and unmute yourself. All right, no big deal. Skip them. Go ahead. What is it? I know, but he was going to give an update. He wants to, let's just get it out of the way. Go ahead, Chief.
Unless you're going to stick around till later.
Council Chair,
Got a few items.
but, well, he's walking up there, Council Chair. I mean, I've been asking for this update for a while, and just to let everyone know, there was an issue with those pipes on the golf course, and that was work being done by the county, and it was completed, from what I understand. It was done very efficiently, and that was, I know people were asking about that too, so that's right.
Maybe the chief will hit us with one. Go ahead, chief.
Sure, just as a quick update, thanks for having me up. We had our kickoff meeting for the new station 2 weeks ago, and I have another meeting with them scheduled tomorrow. So things are starting to move quickly now that Partners is involved. Mr. Dibb has worked diligently on it as well. And it was just a long process to get to the point where we're at. But now that Partners is involved, we had to go through all the hoops federally to have everything done properly so we could spend the grant money. So that was some of the delay that took so long to get to where we're at. But now things are moving pretty quickly. Partners was we're looking at a location at around Warren and Beach Daily. And so they have a couple of different places there where they've taken some samples and they're trying to find the most appropriate place to put the station. So that's kind of where it's at.
Warren Beach Daily is in front of it's on the side of the golf course. I know Mr. Deeb had two locations. One was behind the golf course, closer to Joy Road, and then there was supposed to be another one on Warren Beach Daily.
Yep, and so they're looking at both those locations.
Okay, so we still have not decided where we're going.
So it's going to depend on what the costs. That's one of the meetings they're having tomorrow. It's called the programming needs, where they're going to look at the needs of the department, the size and shape of the building, based on the lots that are available, and if they're suitable to build on, or if they'll cost a lot of money to get them suitable to hold the station. So
you guys did a response time analysis, correct?
That's right.
Where did your best response time analysis come off at?
So that's where we came up with Beach and Warren. So that was the area that we wanted to. That was what the fire department requested, is to have it somewhere in that area. Also to get us off Ford Road. We cross Ford Road 15, 20 times a day, and unfortunately, it's a busy intersection. People drive fast on Ford Road, and we see some accidents caused by. We approach the intersection slowly, but there still is accidents. So getting us off Ford Road is a good idea. Warren's a much easier, safer road to be crossing all the time. So that's where we're looking to go, and it's going to be a much faster response for everybody.
Thank you.
Council Chair?
Yes, Councilman?
When you say Beach and Warren, you mean on Beach or on Warren?
So we just gave that location. That was where the GIS study came up to somewhere within that vicinity. And we're talking about a much faster response time for the entire city.
There's two locations. Where specifically are those locations at?
So one they're looking at is at, where the parking lot is in front of Warren Valley, just to the west of that, there's a swath of land there. And then the other one is just, where the maintenance road is off of Beach Daily, where it enters into the golf course, just south of there. So the area doesn't flood, it's safe, but that's what they're going to be checking out for us when they're doing all the sampling.
The second one you mentioned is on the golf course per se, right? It's on the east course. The existing east course is not open right now.
Yeah, those.
And the other one's out on Warren Avenue in the middle of nowhere, wide open area.
Those are the spots that they're looking at, yeah.
I like the Warren Avenue one.
All right, thank you.
Council Chair.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Just before the meeting, I spoke with State Rep Burns, and she gave me an update. The location that the city's going with is off of Warren and the golf course, just north of the service entrance of the golf course on the east course. They did the soil testing, she said. They're waiting response. She talked to the administration. They said they should have a response back within a few days, and that she's monitoring it closely regarding the $10 million. So that's what I just got right before the meeting.
Anyone else?
Council Chair?
Councilman Wenzel?
That location, what you're doing right there is you're saying you're never going to open up the entire east course again, put it on the golf course.
Yeah.
And that just sets the stage for some further development in that area.
Well, Councilman Saab's saying they already chose Warren, right?
No. Beach Daily.
Already chose Beach Daily?
Yes, that's what Aaron Burns told me about an hour ago.
Well,
Any idea, Chief, about that?
So from what I understand, that we're looking, since we don't know the actual needs of the station, that they don't know how it's going to be situated on the land, and those were things they're taking into account. I know they were sampling the other area too off Warren, and I don't think that a firm decision has been made as far as I know. But again, from the fire department's perspective, we wanted it as close to that intersection as possible, and there are some other things to consider. One of the problems with the Warren is also the flow of traffic from the school, which is what we're dealing with now with Crestwood. At 7:30 and 2:30 every day, there's, if you guys have been by there, the front of our station is filled with cars and kids, and it's a bad situation. If we end up back by Riverside on Warren, that is going to be one of the negatives of that location. So there's pros and cons with each one, and I understand the concerns with the golf course, and I've golfed there a lot myself. I love Warren Valley. This is all the factors that are going into the decision. But as far as I know, a firm decision has not been made. But
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Council Chair, just one quick question.
We're going to do this as the last one, Councilman.
Is there any
Councilman.
time frame on the spending of this money, this grant money? There's chatter going on about that.
Not that I'm aware of, but I do know that Partners is not interested in this dragging on. The city's not interested. We want to get this done as quickly as possible. We're tired of being in that station that every time it rains, we have a different leak. DPW and Building Maintenance is doing the best they can to keep it up, keep it functioning. But, with the shifting slag that's been built underneath it, that really has set us up for some difficult times.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Chief.
I see Mr. Deeb's hand. Mr. Deeb, can we keep this quick? Guys, it's been an hour and 20 minutes, still on public comments. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. This was just a quick update from our fire chief. Go ahead, Mr. Deeb.
Yes, good evening, council. Just wanted to do, in addition to what the fire chief had indicated, I sent a detailed email about the development on January 21st to all the council members. So the two sites have been tested. The geotechnical company, G2, have done the testing, completed the testing last week, even with inclement weather. We also have the lab work to be completed this week, Friday, and then the final lab report with all the data completed next week. So until this data is clear, we can't for sure select the site. So we wanted to make sure that the ground is able to support. So soil borings were completed. I will know this end of this week, the raw data, and by end of next week, we will have a recommendation. Hopefully by next council meeting, we'll have an engineering recommendation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deeb.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Anyone else in the audience or on Zoom? Seeing none. Next up, we're going to move to fund transfers and current claims.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the current claim and ACH wire transfers 6-1 through 6-44 as submitted.
Can we do that to 6:45, because we added that one?
6:45.
Sorry about that.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by
Second.
Council Chair.
Councilman Ahmad.
Before we vote, I'd like to remove some items. I'd like to remove item 18 and 22.
Okay. Why are you removing 18 and 22? Or you don't have to even say it.
No, I'll publicly say it. Number 18, we asked for an investigation regarding the $7,000 that was approved. Never came to council. We were sent an investigation that absolutely had nothing to what we requested. And number 22, I truly am, you opened this up. I mean, honestly, this is to the administration. What do we have an attorney for? How many attorneys does the city need? If we have an attorney who's looking at emails, $30-some thousand for attorneys to view opinions, emails, opinion letters, appointment letters, directorship positions. Like who's approving these?
Yeah. Okay.
And then also I seen Councilwoman Maxwell's invoice down here. This is a civil issue. This is common sense. The city has no jurisdiction over this. This is a neighborly issue. The city shouldn't be involved. I think this is nothing more but retaliation from the administration towards her.
Point of order, please. Council Chair?
Yes, Councilman Ahmad.
Also would like to comment on number 18. I'm really torn here. I mean, this business did do the work, but, you know, if you allow me, Council Chair, I'd like to show something from back in July. Because as,
What?
because as Councilman Saab has mentioned, that we were sent an investigation, but this investigation that has nothing to do with this 7,000. And I would just want to put it back in the record. That's exactly what the gentleman who was the lawyer for the business, who was here at that time, what he said.
Had two previous jobs that before this, the DTE cut the check directly to IB Electric and everything was fine. Mr. Vanderplow reached out and told DTE not to cut the check to IB Electric, which is why the check.
Hang on 1 second.
Madam President, you have another check for 7?
We're going to show one video. Are we going to show when the owner of IB Electric stood up and gave a statement? Are we going to show both?
Yeah.
And show that this lawyer is
Point of order, Council Chair.
actually,
Point of order, Roger. Come on, Roger.
is actually lying?
Point of order.
Just want to make sure we be
This guy
fair.
loves interrupting.
Hang on, Roger, pause that for a second.
Okay, so I'll be real.
We are an hour and 25 minutes into this meeting, and it's been nothing but arguing and back and forth. Please, anybody that's sitting up here, moving forward, if you don't go through the chair, don't speak. That goes to everybody on here. Please, this isn't to Roger, this is to everybody. No more side chatters. Please, nothing from the audience anymore. Let's keep it respectful. Too many residents are calling me and saying, I'm spending 6 hours during meetings because you got people up there screaming and yelling. And the truth is, they're saying it's coming from this corner. So please stop it. Play your video. Let's move on.
Council Chair, I raise my
Roger,
objection.
please, point of order. If you don't want to do it, please leave.
I'm talking to you, Council Chair.
Please, Roger, point of order. Councilman Ahmad has this thing being played.
No problem. Go.
Please,
Go
thank
ahead.
you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. No more interruption.
Okay, so I'll be real brief. The only check that we have issued through accounts payable is for $23,106, which was based on the council's motion.
Right.
That check, because DTE called me and said, hey, we want you to hold it, because we had talked about it. They said, we don't know if we can do that, meaning what the second part, issuing to IB Electric. That check is sitting in my vault locked up.
Which one, the 7,000 or the 23,000?
No, the
You've never seen
23,106.
a check for 7,000?
I have not.
Yeah, so Dennis, whatever that is,
All right, and to clarify, the 7,000 was not, DTE was not involved in the work for the 7,000.
7,000 was involved by the city that didn't go out for bid and said to go ahead and finish the work?
The 7,000 was authorized by Mr. Vanderplow for additional lights at the same 637 Michigan.
Hold on, time out, guys. Point of order, guys. Point of order. So, hold on. So, Vanderplow didn't allow us to, DT to pay you guys the 23,000. And Vanderplow said, hey, we'll come back. I'm gonna hire you again because these lights don't match. And we're gonna pay you 7,000 and they didn't come before the council?
There were, my understanding, and council's right, my understanding based on representations to me by Mr. Vanderplow is as to that building. And I'll be the first to admit, I do not understand the inner workings of the city of Dearborn Heights.
Yeah.
I've watched 3 hours worth of it. I don't want any part of it. So, but I was told, it was represented to me by Mr. Vanderplow that with respect to 25,637 Michigan Avenue, that he's the end-all and be-all, and basically he had authority with respect to the 7,000. I'm telling you, that's what I was told.
Well, let me put it for the record straight. He's not the end-all, be-all. He does not determine how the city spends its money.
He can pay the money.
And if that's the case, he could pay the money. But I can tell you right now, I'm okay that if you put a dismissal with prejudice of the 23,000 and whatever that's from IB Electric, we can figure out. You know, Mr. IB Electric, the owner, can figure out with the administration and Mariana, because they never went out for bids. They didn't come before us. we were always told, one of the reasons why we said okay to IB was it was gonna cost the taxpayers $0. This was coming from a reimbursement from IB Electric, which is why we got the 22,000.
Which was all true, yes.
Correct. Now, the $7,000, because the lights didn't match, now they're saying to the taxpayers, well, I didn't like the aesthetics of things, I'm gonna charge the taxpayers.
I think there was more to it than that, but basically, the decision was made.
So, Council Chair, just a reason for me showing this video, because I'm really torn. I want to pay the guy. He did the work, but at the same time, my duty towards the resident, because I've never approved this work to be done. So I don't know if anybody on council have anything else to say.
Honestly, I will say this. This is terrible because the reality is, just taking us back to when the mayor and Roger approved the tree company to come out and trim all those bushes behind a hookah lounge and Telegraph. They said they clean up the debris and they charge us $10,000. Okay? The administration allowed for $10,000 to be approved. We went back and forth. They went back and wanted to bill us and some extra money because they said there were late fees and we weren't paying them on time. We asked the administration to no longer do that. Fortunately, I think in the mix of things, this was also being done. What we paid this man is $10,000. I hate that we're in this position. IB Electric does great work in the community, right? But we're being put in a position where it's like, this body didn't go up for bid, or the administration didn't go up for bid. This body didn't approve this company to come in and spend the money. And now we're being asked to basically pay this gentleman. But the reality is he did the work. And it's like he is stuck between the failures of what this administration has done. And we now are being the ones that are saying, well, we're going to hold you accountable because the administration failed.
Point of order.
So nothing from the audience. So to me, look, I'm torn by this. I want to end this.
Me too.
I think our message has been very clear to the administration. No more. Like, no more. But I just want to be done with this.
Council Chair.
So that's where I stand on it. But yeah, go ahead, Councilman.
Council Chair, you took an oath. You have a duty
I get
as an
that,
elected
Councilman.
official. Yes. To hold your duty and have the interest of the best interest of the city. And we asked for one thing, just like every employee that's been terminated and investigated for the same exact thing. Why has not this individual been investigated like we asked for the $7,000?
The investigator's going to investigate.
Well, that money's not going to get, that money shouldn't be paid until it's going to get investigated from an outside source. And we requested that. You know what the mayor did? Nothing. And now you're going to say you're torn about it. I don't disagree, Mr. Boosie and IB Electric did the work. It has nothing to do with them. But you also have a charter you have to follow, and there's rules, and there's checks and balances. Not every time he comes, you say this administration stops. I told the administration to stop. Has it stopped?
Nope.
Then you have a duty to do what's right. And whatever Roger is going to keep saying and protecting the administration, it's bogus.
Council Chair, I would
Hang out,
object.
Roger. First of all, you got to go through the chair. When I grant that permission, then you can speak.
I'm not done. He interrupted me.
Let's keep it respectful, Council.
He interrupted me.
I know. Let's keep it respectful. I will control that. Thank you.
He started it.
Nobody gave you permission to talk, Roger.
You started it.
Nobody told you to talk.
Guys.
Point of order. I can speak on anything legal by the charter.
I don't need your advice. It's useless.
You need advice.
Roger.
Stop interrupting.
Hey, just don't go back and forth with him. Please, come on, guys. Please
Keep
stop.
talking.
I know, Hasi. It's okay. He just wants to get the last word. Let it go. What's next? Anyone else?
I'm not
Council
done.
Chair.
Okay, then go ahead, Haas.
I'm not done.
Go ahead.
This has been bought and it says updated. What's updated about it? For IB Electric. What's updated? What did you email the chief of staff the last time when she wanted to put it? What did you request?
I requested for the $7,000 investigation. She said she was going to get it.
Have we been provided with it?
No.
So why would you even change your mind now on it, saying you're?
No, I'm not changing my mind, Haas.
Okay.
I'm not changing my mind. But what's happening is it's been the same bickering for the last 7 months on this. And let me tell you what I've done. I put a halt on this for the last 4 months. 4 months, you guys have not brought this before you guys. And so the administration said, 1, 2, and 3, bring this back. By the way, for the last 4 months, I've been pushing this away, pushing it away, pushing it away, pushing it away. The reality is, this company did the work. That's all I'm saying is, we're bringing it back. The beauty about this is a democracy. Make the decision and move on.
Council Chair, to echo back yourself, some employees got fired.
I am agreeing
And
with you.
terminated over this, but we're gonna give a slap on the wrist for somebody else for doing the exact thing that somebody didn't do that got fired.
The councilman, we didn't
No,
make a
I'm-
vote on this
no,
yet.
and,
This is open for discussion.
This is the
That's why it was
discussion.
brought back.
This is why we're having that
Correct.
discussion. So if there's checks and balance for the administration to investigate whoever they want, the administration has to be investigated.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And if they're not gonna investigate or get somebody to do it, it's your obligation to go to MSP, or the Wayne County Sheriff, or the prosecutor's office.
Nothing from the
Council
audience,
Chair?
guys.
Ma'am.
Nothing from the audience. Councilman Saab, are you done?
No. Second thing is, back to number 22 with our attorneys. Council Chair, how many law firms has this council approved?
I believe.
How many opinions do we need to go to? I'm looking here right now as we speak. There's 5 different law firms for opinions. I mean, you can hire AI to do some, you can pay a third-party company online to do opinions for you. Why are we going out spending, I think there's over $100,000 in fees here for attorneys, for opinions, for emails, checking emails. Well, we can't even get a resolution or an ordinance approved in the city or passed.
How many more you got?
That's it.
Anyone else from the council?
Yes, Council Chair.
Yes, Councilwoman.
We have pages 39 through 197 over the same project. And one thing that came to my attention is that people were having headaches, and that was the request to change the lighting for
It
that
needs council's approval.
$7,000. It should have been done that way, but there was a need, and the man did do the work.
Yeah.
Didn't fall.
You still had to go out for bid, though, Councilwoman. Right, do you agree?
It wasn't done correctly.
Roger, I just want to say, I don't want to spend 20 minutes of getting a lecture.
Very quick.
I'm going to do
No,
a quick
like-
20 seconds
Well,
synopsis.
I will say, I've sent the council an ordinance, and if Ms. Saab wants to say things that haven't been done since October 17th on blights, I work with ordinance, and I've not gotten one iota, one word or comment or review from Mr. Saab, who sat on it since October 17th,
Thank you so much.
2024. But in any case, we have a duty to show a fair and proper representation. The owner of IB Electric spoke to this council and indicated that Mr. Vanderplow did not approve anything. That means the administration did not approve that $7,000. But there is an individual and there is an open case. So that will not be discussed further than what I've just said. But please make the narrative clear, accurate, and correct. And I
Thank you
ask
so much.
Mr. Saab to keep that in mind. Thank you.
so much. Thank you so much.
I will not.
Okay, stop.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
point of order. We're not doing this. Thank you. Anyone else on council? Councilman Saab, are you here to amend your motion to eliminate 18 and 22?
Yes.
Council, and we're adding 65. Councilman Ahmad, are you
Yes,
amending that? Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, we have ordinance and enforcement and animal control, direct judicial bid award animal sheltering agreement proposal. Before we read this, I was hoping we could have tabled this, but,
We still can.
okay. Can we table this? Are you guys okay all with tabling this?
Before
Yeah, I
reading the
talked to-
motion?
Council Chair,
Yes.
I talked with the director today, and he thought it was going to be tabled or removed.
Yeah, I know. I was, because I told George and them to add it before we had our study session, so I just wanted it tabled. Okay, Councilman
We still
Ahmad,
need the motion?
to table.
Council Chair, I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council table 7A.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad,
Second.
second by Councilman Saab. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell, thank you for moving up to your mic and saying aye. Next up, we have reports from the mayor, environmental cleanup services for the fire station.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the payment for the environmental cleanup to Service Master for the total cost not to exceed $20,000 from Building Maintenance Contractual Services GL number 101-265-818.000. Additional authorize the controller to issue a budget amendment to increase the budget maintenance contractual services GL number 101-265-818.000 from $20,000 to $40,000 to cover the cost and authorize the mayor and comptroller or clerk to sign the necessary warrants and the treasurer to issue payments as outlined in 8A.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion on this? You want to give us a quick synopsis on this, Chief, and what's happening here? This has been something that's been important to many of us, so I'm glad that we're seeing this before us now.
Yeah, again, this is something Mr. Dibb has done a great deal of work on.
Hang on one second, guys. Nothing from the council, please. Thank you.
So we've, as you know, there was concerns of mold and some other issues in the station, and they did come and do testing, and the mold was, there's mold everywhere. So they test the mold outside and they test mold inside the building, and everything tested under the safe level, and it was less than the outside levels, which means there wasn't any mold from the inside except for in one room, which was the bunk room, but it was still well within the safe levels. So they're going to start that mediation efforts. They have to make sure that they get the roofs fixed as well as they can, which is also going to be something they're working on, and then cleaning out the ductwork and that kind of stuff as well. So
Chief, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we agree that we weren't going to do any mitigating work until we actually fixed the roof first?
So the mold, they're not starting the mold remediation until the roof is fixed, but they can start the cleaning the ductwork and things like that. That's what they're going to be doing.
Thank you so much, Chief. All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next up, we have 8B, U.S. Army Corps of Engineer, Rouge River Feasibility Study.
Council Chair,
Councilwoman?
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council authorize the city's participation in the northern portion of the Rouge River feasibility study for a cost of $1.25 million, which will be added to the proposed 2025-2026 corporate fund budget for the city council's consideration as outlined in 8B.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell, seconded by Councilman Saab. Any discussion?
Council Chair?
Councilwoman?
Apparently, we're only paying half. It was originally $2.5 million, but we're sharing with the city of Dearborn. That's what's supposed to be happening.
Council Chair?
I just have a quick question. When they say, maybe Mr. Deeb or Mariana, somebody from the administration that's here, when they say this is coming from corporate fund budget of the city council, consider of the $1.25 million, my two question is this being enforced that we have to spend this money? And this corporate fund money, where's it coming from? Ali Deeb?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is a request, it's a request from the city of Dearborn. So the Corps of Engineers is doing basically the same work they did on Ecorse Creek over on the Rouge River in the north. Dearborn Heights is upstream. We are the headwater of Dearborn. So the city of Dearborn called me and says, okay, so the Corps of Engineers is willing to fund 50% of the $5 million study. So there is a 50% share. And they asked if the city of Dearborn Heights is interested in including Dearborn Heights with Dearborn in the same study. So basically, as you can see in the support document, I said I will take that request over to council. And if you are interested, what we can do is add it to our budget negotiations coming up in a month, and say that we get 25% of the cost, basically.
Mr. Deeb,
Yes.
Mr. Deeb, with all due respect, our city almost witnessed a complete lockdown because of our budget, which we were in a complete deficit. Our police department's overtime is under right now. I think we only have like $150,000 left in our overtime budget.
Council Chair, I'm not recommending approval. I just simply didn't want to make the decision without taking it to council.
Thank you. And I appreciate Dearborn for asking us, and I know that we're upstream.
Right, and it was intended for the water, from the water budget, so that's what the intention was.
Good news is Dearborn's got a bigger budget. They got Ford and they have a million other places to get money. I can tell you for myself, reading it, and that's why I asked the questions that I asked. I don't think this is something that we can personally afford. So I'm going to have to refrain. I can tell you for myself, this isn't something that I could wholeheartedly put my head on the pillow and say, we're good, $1.25 million, let's put it towards the study. I can't do that. I'd rather go see more police vehicles. I'd rather see more equipment for DPW. I'd like to see our roads fixed. Sorry, guys, I can't afford it.
I'm not asking you to approve it. I just didn't want to make the decision. This is way over my, pay scale, right? So
Thank you.
it's your decision, yes.
Anyone other discussions? Seeing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
I'm sorry, I meant to say no. Yeah.
Yep.
I want to change it to no. I'm so used to saying
Denise,
yes.
Denise Malinowski makes one.
No.
What if it's a unanimous no? Do you still have to take roll call?
But I think there was a yay.
All in
It's
favor?
by mistake.
All in favor,
No,
please
you
state aye.
just-
Those opposed?
Okay.
No.
No.
Okay.
The ayes
No,
have-
then I
the
know
noes
you have to.
have it.
I was, okay, motion defeated.
Thank you. Board of Review reappointments.
Council Chair,
Councilman Ahmad.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council concur with the mayoral reappointment of Ali Sharara, Dennis Subora, and Chastity Townsend to the Board of Review, terms to expire January 2027, as outlined in 8-C.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Saab, the Honorable Councilman Saab. Any discussion?
Council Chair,
Councilman?
I do want to thank the administration for finally sending us the bios, even though, very professional people on the board. I did serve myself with two of them for years, and they're still on it serving. So I do thank you for their service, and I do recommend approval.
Councilman, I have a quick question for you. Thank you. Thank you so much. If tomorrow this Board of Reviews begins and many residents reach out to us and say, hey, my taxes are high. And I come in and I say, come on, go see the Board of Reviews. Am I doing anything illegal for being there with them?
No.
I know I'm not. In the past, when I did that to assist people, everybody put in their finger and they said, look, the councilman's asking for a favor. I want you to know I'm never asking for a favor. Hand to God, I'm always going to fight to help people when it comes to, for services or anybody that's in a financial burden. Somebody that just needs help. It's okay because that's what we signed up to.
100%.
So I just wanted to, I wanted to clarify that. So if I do it, and I will come to these Board of Review and assist and help people, I hope to God that I'm not being pushed away by the administration because it was said, oh, look what he's doing. The councilman's trying to look out for his friends. No, Councilman, no. Councilman's trying to help his friends. Yes, everybody's my friend in this city. Thank you. Any other discussion?
Wait, I thought I was your only friend.
Suspend the rules. Truly, one of my favorite humans on earth.
I appreciate it,
Councilman
Council
Ahmad.
Chair.
What about Hassan Saab? You forgot about Hassan?
I just said he's the most honorable councilman right now.
Oh, I thought it was Ahmed.
Please, point of order, nothing from the audience.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Congratulations. Reports from city officials. Next up, we have Treasurer Hicks Clan, remote revenue collection sites.
Council Chair,
Councilman?
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the following remote revenue collection sites: Caroline Kennedy Library, John F. K. Kennedy Library, Canfield Recreation Center, Richard A. Young Recreation Center, Eaton Senior Recreation Center, Berwyn Senior Recreation Center, Dearborn Heights Police Department, 20th District Court, Department of Public Works as outlined in 9A.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Ahmad.
Council Chair.
Any discussion?
Yes, I have a few questions to the treasurer. Why are we making a collection site at DPW? I mean, there's machines, trucks, everything going in and out of that. I mean, why would we want to put the liability on residents, anybody going there?
And isn't the police department and the 20th District Court the same building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you don't need to,
Well, it is, but they're different, you got police department and you got the 20 district court collections. So this is just an annual review that we do, so it's really up to you to decide if you want that removed, you can do that. But we are just trying to keep you informed and make sure you have this reviewed annually, so it's really your choice.
So let me understand this correct, treasurer. So it says remote revenue collection sites.
That is
Can you clarify that?
Yes. So these are locations throughout the city that traditionally have always collected revenue. For example, Parks and Rec takes payments for events. Of course, they're moving more to Civic Plus and online with recreation. But John F. Kennedy Library, Carolyn Kennedy Library takes payments for fines and other things. People pay to replace books and things. But then when they make that collection of those funds, they bring it to the treasurer's office, and we are doing the receipting for them. Which, by the way, that last paragraph, I want you all to know we're moving towards where we're improving that process with our IT director, Mr. Cooper's help, where we're going to be, more of an operational internal control policy and verification process.
So let's
we're
stick
trying
to,
resolve that.
let's stick to 9A for right now.
Yes.
So again, this just seems, it's, to me, looking at this, and the more sites we have, yes, it's more convenient, but I think it's more work on city employees too, that you're going out to collect. It becomes a safety issue. And then for the police department to collect, to take payments, where would they be taking payments at the police department?
They do take payments for different things.
Where?
Where? At the police department through records and other things.
Yeah, they take payments.
Yeah.
At, you walk up to where you take a police report, they take payments?
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big cash.
Yeah, we do take some payments, in terms of like bond, bonding people out of jail.
Yeah, that's police matters, I'm saying.
That's the revenue collection.
That's still revenue.
Yeah, so revenue collection.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
And-
So, yeah, I'm sorry, that.
okay. So it'd be two different windows, okay, so I see why you have the 20th District Court there, but if, the Department of Public Works is what I'm worried
If
about.
you want that removed, we can do so.
Well, no, let's
Make
not
it
do
part
that,
of your
because I
motion.
know that there are times where people go pull
Yeah.
a permit from
They
like
do.
the tree.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah, for the tree.
For tree
ordinance, they can
permits.
pay for it
So
right
what
on the spot.
happens is they go there and
Instead
they
of making
pay,
them grab it from
yeah,
there and
the
go
tree
drive to City
permit.
Hall, let's leave it there.
That's an example.
Thank you.
Yes.
But but for, honestly, just to record, that all should be done through City Hall.
I mean.
Not the tree.
I think
wanna
it's
pay
a
a ticket,
matter
you
of
shouldn't have
trying
to
to
go to City Hall to pay
streamline
a
the
ticket.
payment services for our residents. And I think by moving forward with what we're working on with IT, this is going to be more streamlined and effective, but also we're going to find it's going to complement internal controls versus, just taking cash randomly. It needs to be receipted, part of BSNA process,
Thank you.
right? So we are working with that.
Thank you.
Thank
But
you.
again, this is for your review, so really it's your decision.
Yeah, this is,
Thank you, Madam Treasurer.
these have always been approved in the past.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up is 9B, Treasury Claim Request for Legal Opinion regarding the collection of delinquent personal property taxes and fees.
Council Chair,
Councilwoman Breyer.
I'd like to recommend that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the request of Treasurer Hicks Clayton to obtain a legal opinion regarding the collection of delinquent personal property taxes and levying an administration fee of 1%. In addition, approve the request for a legal opinion on levying a 25% fee on the cost of collection for delinquent personal property fees by the third-party collection agency. Furthermore, approve the request to receive a legal opinion on this matter by February 28, 2025, and that the legal opinion be entered into the record in public record as outlined in 9B.
Second for discussion.
Motion made by Councilwoman Breyer, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. Any discussion?
Council Chair. Thank you, Council. Madam Treasurer, didn't we have something from Roger last time, like a legal opinion about
So
this?
not on this item. Roger, Mr. Farina, is working on this because we've been discussing it. This is with your delinquent personal property taxes on your businesses. Again, that's the equipment within their walls that they use for operations. These are items that the treasurer's office has already exhausted all the collection attempts and options to.
No, I understand. So, Mr. Ferdinand, I cannot give you a legal advice on this? Do we have to go out for?
He is working on that, and what I'm trying to let you know is that, one, I'm requesting that to make it official. And two, it will, if we can, I think we can do this, by the way, but it's going to have to come back to the council, honorable body.
And
for
I understand, but I
approval.
thought you're going out for a
No,
third
we're
party.
not, you're thinking of Altus, which is a third-party collection agent,
Mm-hmm.
and they are doing that, and that 25%, by the way, comes directly from the consignment fee that they get. And what we're trying to do is make the city whole, because we feel, that is in the best interest financially and fiduciary-wise for our residents, as well as the city, if we can legally recover those funds by this, that's what we wish to do, to get that 25% back versus the.
Okay, so just make it for the record, we're not going out for legal opinion. You're gonna, check
What
with
is a legal
Mr. Farina.
opinion?
Council
Yes, it
Chair,
is.
Guys, hang on. Let's let the discussion finish here.
Council Chair,
I heard you. I'll give you that. Give me 1 second. Please finish here.
I was going to refer to Mr. Farina, because he, is in the midst of this right now.
Okay.
This is really important for you to know what we're trying to accomplish, because I don't know if you've heard that we're working on this, right? So I'm trying to be very transparent and say, again, this is not real property tax. This is PPT, personal property
So I
tax.
just want to get something straight. You bring this here forward. I thought what you were bringing here was to levy a 25% fee on the cost of collection of delinquent personal property by a third-party collecting agency, which we've already discussed. We've already discussed this. We want to use a company from out of state. He was going to look into it. I remember.
We're past that. Yes.
Now, you are saying you want an opinion, you want a legal opinion if you can do it, and you want Roger to do it.
That is correct.
Okay. That does not need to be before us. Just simply send Roger an email on that.
Council Chair, if I may.
Yeah.
I already wrote a legal opinion to the treasurer about the issue, and we covered it. I put the case law, everything else. She's asked to have something formally put in the record. What I will need is I will get advice from an outside counsel on what I've put together in light of the contract that she has. Now, in terms of personal property taxes, we've already filed our lawsuits in court on ones that are delinquent more than 5 years. We have court dates coming up in March on those issues, and there's about 1,500 I'm cleaning up that we've been working on. And we just started for the first time that process. But in terms of the firm that has been hired outside, she's asked for a little different than what I've done before, and I will have that done. I will, for my due diligence, check with outside counsel on the issue of the 25% and the 1% collecting it, and we should be able to bill when we collect it for any legal fees that we have outside of myself. But I have prepared one 2 weeks ago, as Madam Treasurer has asked, and she's expanded it to include something with the 25% and the 1% in terms of the agency, what they're charging as they go after the debtors or people in collecting the taxes.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
It seems like we're still going outside for legal opinion.
Because now Roger had to get an opinion.
I mean, I don't understand why we have to go outside for another opinion. I mean,
Because, Council Chair, I'm, with all due respect, I'm not a tax expert. I'm not someone that would, I need someone more experienced with some of the municipal issues, and I want to be correct since we're recording it. We've also reached out to the previous treasurer with some of the issues. We've gone to the county. We haven't billed for it, but we've done that as well to check some of the issues with this area. This is the first time it's being tackled. So I think it'd be.
Can we look at other, cities' best practices?
Yeah, we're doing all that, yes. In fact, we're using, someone I'm talking to who's worked with different cities.
Well, before we bring this forward, let's look at best practices, see how other municipalities do it. Let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's just, guys, it's very easy.
We just want to get.
Hey, what does Livonia do? What does Farmington do? What does Plymouth do? What does Dearborn do? Look at it, see what's the best practice, bring it and just implement it.
We will
Getting
go off your
opinions.
recommendation.
Like it's just, I feel like we're constantly seeing this in front of us, that's all.
Councilor Chair, before we approve this, I would like to see exactly if you were going to go out for legal advice or legal opinion, to know exactly who we were going with, so we can approve before, and at least to have some kind of amount before we proceed. So I would like, I don't know if Councilwoman Hurad,
I agree, we
I
should
would
table.
respectively ask to table this,
Yes.
Councilwoman, until we get such information. Before
We
back to the
refer back to
administration.
the treasurer.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Bragg, do you want to refer back to the?
Yes.
Councilman Ahmad, do you second that?
I second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
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 Those opposed?
Thank you.
The ayes have it, motion carries. Today is everybody's favorite fire chief, Brogan. Purchase and payment of the Ford F-250 replacement.
Council Chair.
Councilman Ahmad.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the purchase and payment of one Ford F-250 from Gorno Ford for a cost of $49,755 to be paid from the capital outlay account 101-335-981-000 upon receipt of the vehicle as outlined in 9-C.
Motion made by Councilman Ahmad, seconded by Councilman Saab. Any discussion? I will ask. I'm going to ask the tough question. Is there a reason why we are going for this F-250?
This is just replacing a vehicle that was in an accident. This is one of the utility pickup trucks that we have one at each station, and we have F-250s for those, and that's why we're replacing.
Okay. Okay, and you guys are replacing it with an additional pickup truck, correct?
Yeah, we're buying the exact same truck that got wrecked.
Thank you.
So, Chief, sorry, Council Chair. So, Chief, what do we use them for, those F-250?
So it's, they do, a lot of the errands that have to be done around the station, like run to the hospital, pick up equipment, that kind of thing. And also if we have down wires, we'll go with the engine and that truck, and we'll leave that truck on scene while they head back. There's just any kind of, it's our utility truck. And it can also tow the things that, we have some trailers that it can tow.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. 9D, everybody's favorite Fire Chief Brogan, budget transfer related to a Ford F-250 replacement.
Council Chair.
You just read that.
Councilman?
Move that the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the following budget amendment to ensure the necessary funding to complete the acquisition of the replacement Ford F-250 from Gorno Ford. Number one, to increase capital outlay account number 101-335-981.000 by $34,755. Two, allocate the remaining $15,000 from the insurance settlement towards this purchase,
Second.
as outlined in 9D.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. I almost said Councilwoman Rose. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Council Chair.
Motion, any discussion?
Thank you,
Throw me
Council
off,
Chair.
Rose.
So we're talking about the same F-250 here, right?
Yeah.
So how come, Madam Clerk, how come we have it in two motions instead of one? How come we didn't just amend the budget?
Because you have to approve the purchase of the amount, then we're increasing from one account to another
I
account.
know, but I've seen it in many motions, Council Chair, that you do it and just amend the motion, whatever.
Because
This was a settlement from the insurance when it got totaled.
Okay.
And it was just a budget transfer. I know, I've seen it where you amend the budget. blah,
The
blah.
same motion, Bob.
Hey, good news is we got to see everybody's favorite fire chief twice. World's best fire chief.
Take it for a vote.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, we have IT Director Cooper and DPW Director Danzy for DPW Facility Access Addition.
Council Chair.
Councilman Saab.
Move the Dearborn Heights City Council approve the purchase and payment of needed equipment and services to add the requested additional facility access door at DPW from BAE Network, as BAE Networks is a registered integrator for the city's PDK system for the cost not to exceed $3,630.17. In addition, authorize the mayor and the comptroller or clerk to sign the necessary warrants and the treasurer to issue payment of $1,815.08 from account 101-440-932.000 and $1,815.09 from account 592-540-932.000 as outlined in 9E.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion on that? Hearing none. I can look at Cooper's face, like, oh man, here it goes.
We need some better printers, Cooper.
Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
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 Come on, guys, hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. I knew you were nervous. Your cheeks get red when you get nervous. Next up is 9F, Acting Chief Police Hadar Flock I'm sorry, Acting Chief of Police Hadar, flock safety signature and authorization.
Council Chair.
I'm going to have Councilman Saab have this because it was his resolution. Councilman Saab.
I move that the Dearborn Heights City Council authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the agreement between the city and flock safety, which was previously authorized by city council. Motion 24-333 and 24-462 as outlined in 9F.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. Any discussion?
Council Chair.
Yep.
I'm just so disappointed that this had taken this long for these to finally be up active and running. This is a shame because we approved this over 7 months ago.
Look, Councilman, I will say, have you not seen, and I think the whole community has seen, this, I mean, the police department has been through ups and downs.
Because these devices could have helped the detective bureau solve in so many cases.
That's why it's here, but I want you to say it's disappointing, but there's a lot of things that's been very disappointing in the police department, and I think this is moving in the right direction.
It is.
And, I'm glad that, we're doing it the right way. I know we got an email from the lieutenant. He was letting us know of everything that he was doing, so I appreciate that. We didn't move forward without the proper signatures. Any other discussion?
Yeah, Council Chair, I'd just like to, after this is hopefully approved, is that we check up on any resolutions and motions we have put forward with the police department based on all the changes that happened, and if anything like this is missing, so we can implement it moving forward.
Joey Smith, $1 million resolution, still waiting on that to be done. But Councilman Wenzel still waiting for his 2 other officers and 5 other ordinances. I mean, things, I agree, but I'm glad that this one got brought forward.
How many of those locations do we have now? For the residents, there are these, you see them around the city, they're like a 10-foot pole, looks like a little solar panel on them, a little black box, and no cameras or nothing, but they're license plate readers, is that what it does?
Yeah, so they're stationary license plate readers. Some of them are different. Some of them are on poles. Some of them are on existing poles. Some of them are standalone.
Some are on trees.
Some, no,
Nah,
well, that would be kind of cool.
How many do we have?
What's that?
How many do we have right now?
So, we were originally approved for 20. We bumped it down to 18 because 2 of them, the locations we decided were going to essentially be the same cameras that were Dearborn had their cameras, right? So we're 18 and we had 5 before. So we put 23 cameras total.
I mean, we've mentioned this word several times. Just for the residents that don't know what we're talking about, can you give a real brief description of what these are?
Yeah, so essentially they're stationary cameras placed throughout the city. We have them, Dearborn has them, Taylor has them. Most of our surrounding departments or cities that surround us have them. And essentially what this will do will enable us to tie into their systems also to access essentially countrywide stationary flock cameras. And what a flock camera is, it's a stationary camera that captures a picture of a license plate in a vehicle at a given point. They're usually at egresses of cities, borders, streets, high crime areas, things like that. So it's stuff that we can tie into. And then our officers in the car can get real-time alerts, like when a stolen license plate hits off one of the cameras, or if there's an Amber Alert car that goes by, or a missing, endangered child. Those type of alerts come up in real time on the computers in the cars for the police officers. And then on the investigative side, the detectives, we use them essentially every day. So.
I hope these will help you out in the department.
Oh yeah, we're very, very excited to get access to this back. We use it every day. So.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Any other discussion? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it, motion carries.
Oh, that was easy. I would have brought 10 motions if I would have known I was ready.
I don't know if you know this, I mean, we have openly always support the police and our fire.
Absolutely.
I think it was just the chairs one time. That was
Is
it.
he a lieutenant or? Is he a lieutenant?
You asked and you got them, right? All right.
All right, next up, we have 9G. Madam Clerk, 9G, kind of my thing. I don't have it, I'm not prepared. I'm just going to bring it up. So I am prepared, but I didn't hand anything over because it was such short notice with the information that was brought up. But I'm putting a resolution forward for a young lady in the community. Let me get the exact. This is regarding a bill with a resident by the name of Mrs. Jacobs. I won't go into too much depth. She lives on William Street, and her and I have been in communication for the last, well, let's open it up for discussion. I am asking for the Dearborn Heights
Do a
City.
motion first?
I'm asking for the Dearborn Heights City Council to have a discussion on estimated water bills since 2019.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Chairman Moulay-Dun, seconded by Councilman Ahmad. Am I allowed to read a motion? I didn't know that. I'd love to read some of these motions. Okay, open up for discussion. 9G. There's a resident that has reached out to me, and I get very few of these, conversations. I know water bills are the hot topic, and everybody's really been discussing it. Teresa Jacobs, who said publicly, you can say my name, talk about this issue, and this is a concern where the city really dropped the ball. And as we have a fiduciary duty to the city, we also have made promises to our residents that we're going to uphold what we believe is to lead and to be what's best for them. So this is a family that lives in Dearborn Heights on the south end, on William Street, who has been paying their bill regularly with no late payments since they've been here. And in 2019, May 30th of 2019, they started receiving estimated water bills. I can tell you, because I can agree, like myself, I look at my water bill, I look at what would the penalty be if I don't pay it on time, and I say I'm going to get the penalty, and then I go and I pay the penalty with the fee. But that is me. I never look at the detailed list. I'll be like, wow, that's high, but I don't break it down. And there's really not much things broken down. So an average resident, when they see the letter E or A, half of the time don't even know what it is. I can tell you, for the longest time, I didn't know what the E was when it was on there. I didn't know it meant this is an estimated bill. And nothing on there says on that bill, hey, this is an estimate, call for an actuary, because nothing of that says that. Nothing on the estimated bill, when it says E stands for estimate. You're supposed to know this. I'm glad that Renee's been praying for us. Maybe we can continue to get these prayers to kind of get these answers, or these prayers taken care of, so we know what the letter E stands for. So after speaking with Mrs. Jacobs for the last 3 months, I have reached out to Director Dancy. I have spoken with our comptroller's office, and what happened with this resident, very few. This isn't something you see all the time. Very, very few. She has been getting an estimated water bill, not knowing, since 2019, for almost 5 years. And so what did they hit her with recently? An actuary. What happened to her bill? She got hit with a $3,500 water bill. This is a lady she's basically saying, I have 5 children. My husband was just laid off. I have 2 jobs. And the city just hit me with a $3,500 water bill. I get it. I used the water. I wish you guys would have given me the additional $50 that I would have paid for every 2 months, rather than hitting me with, or $100 for every 2 months, instead of hitting me with one lump sum and said, pay it or it's going to go against your taxes. We dropped the ball there. And I had a great candid conversation with our comptroller today, who was so protective of our city. And I want you to know, our comptroller truly loves the city of Dearborn Heights, because she was pushing against it. And she said, I wish you were my councilman in my city. The good news is I'm going to have to be the one that's going to do my part on the water department. Now, what's going on in the water department? We're fixing that. I know Director Dancy and I have had many conversations. I've spoken with GLWA. I've spoken with Councilman Ahmad on some of this. We're still in the works of things that are happening. But this lady has a water bill that's been estimated since before I was even on council. I wasn't even on council in 2019. Our mayor, former mayor, was still alive. Councilwoman was the chairwoman, and the mayor was the council chair pro tem at the time when she was getting estimates. That's how long she's been getting estimates for. So to me, the city dropped the ball. So what I've asked and had a conversation with our comptroller said, and Mrs. Jacobs as well, is we can't pay this entire bill, because the city can't. But I think we can come where and we can find a common ground. And so what I said with her was, why don't we look at the estimate from May 30th of 2019, May 30th of 2023. And what's that amount come out to? $1,063. I said the fair argument on that would be, you owe 3,200 or 3,500. Maybe I can, because ultimately it stands on the council to make the decision if there's going to be any support towards a water bill. I truly believe in my heart, city dropped the ball. Yes, she used the water, but, and I'm going to let you speak, Councilwoman. The city dropped the ball. This lady, husband has just lost her job, or has been laid off. She's got 5 children. She can't afford this water bill. Doesn't want it to go to her taxes. The good answer is, I am going to say, I will wholeheartedly support a resolution that allows this lady to save the $1,063 and that she would still have to cover the $2,200 or the $2,300. That is, and I know this, people are going to say that this money is going to open up or everybody's going to call you for this. And if we are still billing people from 2019, then yes, bring it. Because I'm going to stand with these people. And even if that's the wrong decision, I cannot say wholeheartedly that a person that's struggling because we've dropped the ball is now going to be potentially having their taxes being raised and putting a lien on their property because we did not do it properly and because we were understaffed. That is my opinion. But I'll open it up to discussions on anybody else.
Council Chair?
Councilwoman Menalowski-Maxwell.
I have a similar situation with a family member that happened a few years back. And actually, I don't understand why the water department didn't send them notices and get in touch with them, because they went through that. And they threatened, you let us in. You were just doing estimated bills. You know, we need to come in and replace the meter. But another suggestion is and this is just off the top of my head, this is my experience with the phone company and billing and stuff. What do we say that they keep their phone, they keep their water bills up to date and then pay so much extra each bill. And if in the future, by some chance, if they sell their house, then we collect whatever balance at the end. Make a payment plan for them. Don't put it on their taxes. See what works for them. Can they do $100 a month? And until that $3,500 is paid off. That way, we do get the fair amount. We're not opening the door for anybody else to come in and give us their story too, because we all have stories. Everybody does. And I feel bad for her. I really do. But I would make it a workable payment plan and not put it on her taxes until she could pay it. I would like to see something like that.
Well, from the conversation her and I had is she wants this to be done and over with. She can't budget herself more than what she's already at. Again, this is an open discussion to this council. I am not asking to swing, I am not swaying anybody. I can tell you that I, me, Mo Beidun,
I'm still talking.
Not all of us, is that I would like to support this young lady.
Still talking.
Yeah, go ahead. Councilman.
She's not done yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just think it's the fair thing to do. She does owe it, and I know if it happened to me, I would want some kind of pay. See what works with her, talk to her, and then maybe bring this back. I mean, can she do $50 a month or $100 every 2 months? Or, you know, because her situation is bad right now. If you want, maybe we can make it lower, and if her income improves, then maybe we can change that in the future. But in the end, at least the city will be collecting the water, because we got to pay for it. When we, you know, our finances are not that great right now. I mean, they're good, and we want to keep them there, but just so we don't open the door to a bunch of people, because I'm sure there's others out there that didn't contact us that will want something like this.
100%.
And are you done? 'Cause I don't want to be,
I'm done.
I don't want to be
Thank
told
you.
I interrupted you. I've had, if you heard the conversation, the spiel that I gave, I've been talking to her for 3 months. You think I didn't have the conversation? What's a good number we could do? How can we do to help? Mr. Dancy, for over 2 months, him and I have met up and said, what's going on? How does something like this happen? This is 2019.
Council Chair, what?
And I'm not done.
Okay.
Sorry. 2019, and I know our finances are doing good, but if you know about our water fund, a lot of millions in there. I don't think $1,063 changes that. And I'm not saying we can open that up and say to everybody, come out here.
No.
And
Council
hang on 1 second. Hang on. I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna let you go. And I don't want this to be a debate back and forth. At the end of the day.
Well, you're debating my part. That's why I want to
Yeah,
counter-debate.
I just want you to know that I've spoken with her. She's in a very tough position. I wish I could be the one to put the money forward of the 1,063 and say, hey, I want to be assist you here. Probably have to do that for every other person. The reality is, just keep in mind, city dropped the ball. She did it. She never had a late payment. She always paid her payment on time. So if the city would have overestimated and given her the money back, guess what? Everybody would be happy. That's just where I stand. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
What I was going to say, you know, I know approximately what my water bill comes in at. And if all of a sudden it's going to be estimated the same amount every month. An estimated bill for years. Don't you think that's a red flag? And did we talk to our water department and find out why they dropped the ball and didn't contact them? Because they were ruthless to my family member to do this, to get in there and get the meter. I actually went over and let them in during the day so they could take care of it. I do know that the water department does send out bills. And like I said, if you are getting the same bill for how many years, and you know you've got that many people in your house, and you know what your bill should be around, and if it's not, then you know something's not right.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yes, Council Chair.
I'm gonna go with Councilman Ahmad, Councilman Saab, and then Roger, you.
Thank you, Council Chair. I mean, as much as I would love to waive the money for the resident, but
We're not waiving the entire bill. Yeah.
whatever money it is, but I had a similar situation too, a few similar situation. I did talk to the comptroller, and I do recommend, I think, maybe waiving all the penalties for sure. And I go with Councilwoman Milanowski Maxwell. And at least, point of order, please. And at least make a long, because I think the comptroller, she did help me with one resident too, like make a long payment plan. I don't think we need to get in the middle of it. Have her contact the comptroller. Whatever it's comfortable for her, if she needs our approval, she can bring it back here and we can approve that payment plan. But definitely, I would recommend waiving the penalties.
She has no penalties. She always paid her payment on time.
I mean, if you said you've been talking to her for 3 months, so obviously,
Yeah.
probably at this point,
She's still making, I think, minimum payment. But from what I was told by John Dancy, she did not have any penalties on it, unless she paid them already.
I mean, I'm open for any long payment plan, but like I said, I can bring a bunch of bills right now for estimated bills too, so. I mean, if you guys are okay with it, I'm okay with it, but, I mean, it's not fair to do it for one, not to do it for the others.
I agree.
Council
Go
Chair.
ahead.
So we have the similar situation. You know, I'm gonna name the resident. Came back here yelling at us behind our chairs about his water, his rental property, and we couldn't do nothing for him. Yeah, and I just think believe me, I have family members that have had estimated bills for years and they got stuck with a bill, and unfortunately, it's got to get paid. The city has to pay it, and if the city's paying it, the taxpayers are eventually paying it. I don't mind putting people on payment plans, regardless of how much they pay. That's revenue still coming into the city, rather nothing's coming in. So, to give one person a break and not give it across the city, that would be unfair. And I think a payment plan would be the best way to go.
Thank you, Roger.
I would agree. I think neither the council nor the mayor has the authority to reduce the water bills, but you're one of the most empathetic leaders that care for people I've ever met. And your concern comes through. It's not just blowing smoke. I'm just telling you, you took the time to bring this up, and a lot of people just ignore it or just try to, okay, let's pass it on, and you don't. So I just want to say, thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Any other discussion?
Roger gets 2 points tonight. We're trying.
Well, listen, either way, we're gonna take this to a vote. If it passes, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. We are doing our point.
Repeat what we're voting on again.
But the
A
motion.
motion to waive $1,062.
So that's what you're going to do, because the motion on the table is
discuss.
just for discussion.
Okay, yes, to waive $1,062.
7-0, no. So you're going to motion to waive $1,060.
The payment plan doesn't need a motion.
So all he's got to do is say no.
Nothing from the audience, please. And again, I don't want anybody to think that this is any favoritism. This was just a resident that called me, and I simply said to myself, if I can help you, I'm going to try my best to help you. I can't make that final decision. It has to be brought in front of the city council. So that's what I'm doing here today.
Can you include the address so we can be more
Yes.
specific, or anything more specific so that we know exactly what it is?
To keep it as a John Doe.
Point of order, please.
We'd only add the address if we approved it.
Or
It would be
Or account
William Street,
number?
Dearborn Heights, Michigan. I don't want to give the full address.
Okay.
William Street, Dearborn Heights, Michigan, 48125.
We'll just need to know. Well, we'll see what
Yes,
happens.
I
We'll
mean,
need to
if it
know, like
passes,
an account
great.
number.
Sure. Any other discussion?
Council Chair, what is the actual motion we're voting on? Is it for discussion?
Voting? No, we're voting to
Waive it, okay.
waive
All right.
$1,063 or $62. All in favor, please state aye. Aye. Those opposed?
No.
And clerk, please take roll call.
Nancy Breyer,
No.
Denise Malinowski Maxwell,
No.
Hassan Saab,
No.
Tom Wenzel,
Yes.
Hassan Ahmad,
No.
and Mo Bidun.
Yes,
Motion fails.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up on the agenda is second reading on proposal for H25-01, Veteran Affairs Commission. I'm going to allow Councilman Wenzel to read this.
Oh, you would, I just put all my stuff in my folder. Thank you. Thank you so much. A motion that the Dearborn Heights City Council move that proposed ordinance H-25-01, an ordinance of the City Council of Dearborn Heights establishing a Veterans Affairs Commission, providing for its composition, terms, and alternative support, defining its purpose, duties, and responsibilities, regulating its meetings, be it ordained by the City Council of Dearborn Heights, Michigan, that the Code of Ordinance of the City of Dearborn Heights, Michigan, hereby amend by adding divisions 9 under Chapter 2, Article 6, as well as by adding a section to be numbered 2-595, be considered read for the second time as outlined in 11A.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Wenzel, seconded by Councilwoman Breyer. Any discussion?
Council Chair?
Councilman Ahmad?
No, I went through this read, but I have a couple comments for like C1. It says, okay, to have 5 commissioners, at least 5 commissioners or 9 commissioners. But it says it's all appointed by the mayor, which I have an issue with that. I would like to see at least, if there's 5, at least 2 to be appointed by council. And if there's 9, 4 to be appointed by council. I do understand one of the commissioners is the liaison from one of the council members, but it says here it does not have a vote, the council member would not be a voting member.
An ex officio, he's correct.
Yeah,
But you can still have somebody on the council,
Yeah, I mean,
but if he's the ex officio,
no,
he
this
doesn't
is,
have to
he's
vote.
not, the mention is the commissioner would be from the council, but he's not having a voting rights. I mean, to be there with no voting rights, I mean, I don't know, it doesn't seem fair. Because it says it could be city council, it could be city treasurer or city clerk to serve as a liaison. So with no voting rights, I think that needs to be changed. And I think the council need to appoint at least 2 out of the 5 or 4 out of the 9. I know we have to concur with all the 5 or the 9, but at least 2 to be recommended by the council if there's 5 commissioners, or 4 if there's 9 commissioners. That's all I have to say, Council Chair. Thank you.
Any other discussion? I will say, just let me explain the ex officio part, the liaison that sits over it. Like at the CCRC, I was a part of the CCRC. Before I got on council, I was actually appointed by the late Mayor Dan Paletko to be on there. And then I was renewed to either stay on there as a regular voter, commissioner, or I could have became the ex officio. And they eventually just moved me to the ex officio. Nothing in the charter says I can't be a voter on the commission. Councilman Wenzel serves on the watershed stool and he votes. So you can do that. But I don't know, like the watershed steward, isn't that all appointed by the mayor? Yeah. So I think usually in these commissions, it is always the decision of the mayor.
So,
With the
some
approval of city
commissions are,
council.
yeah, some of them.
There are a couple. I think the CCRC is one of them. And I think that was former councilwoman was actually, Lisa X. Clayton was the one that actually pushed for that.
Well, this is a new day, new commission, and I think
Council Chair.
we need new change.
Hang on one second.
So I would recommend council body to go with whatever I recommended, to having at least, for the council to have at least 2 out of the 5 or 4 out of the 9. And for any council member or elected official that's going to be the liaison on the commission to have a voting right.
Council Chair?
Councilman?
I think it's a good idea because, sitting on several commissions, throughout my years, sometimes you need that extra person to have a quorum. And where they, if you can count on the person on city council or treasurer or something to be at the meetings, if not, but it is a big plus to have an extra person there that is considered part of a quorum. And the right to vote, I don't see any problem with that whatsoever. There's no funding approved by city council for this commission. There's no conflict of interest whatsoever, so it could be.
Didn't Gary write this?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
but, it's just a resident wanting to be part of this, and this will happen to be a city council member, clerk, or a treasurer.
Okay, we can make those amendments, or we can table it, have them fix it, and bring it back.
Let's table it, fix it, bring it back, so it's all tight.
Okay. Would you like to table this, Councilman Wenzel?
Yeah, I'll table it. Yeah.
Okay. Councilwoman Bry, will you second that?
Yes.
No, refer it back.
I'm
Would
sorry,
you like
refer
to-
it back to administration. with
Yes,
proper-
for the required
Administration or?
changes, yes.
Yeah.
And the changes are 2 of the first
the council
appointments
to
would be
have-
council appointed.
Yes.
If
Or
you have 5
4
members.
2 out
or
of the
4
5
of
if
the
there's
9.
5 members, or 4 out of the 9 if there's 9 members.
And what was the other one?
And for the liaison, which could be city council, could be even the mayor, or any elected official, to have a voting right.
Voting rights for the, okay.
I don't see it if somebody's there and doing the work and not voting, doesn't make sense.
Usually,
It's like a-
what
For the liaison.
the community liaison or the ex officio does is they kind of help guide, make sure the meeting's running smooth. They give their point like, hey, this is how you should run the meeting properly. This is what I would do. They're like the oversight. But I get it. Councilman Saab.
I just wanted to echo that we put this resolution forward for a Veterans Commission, and I believe we should have this say, or the council should, how many members or bodies or who that, not the administration. This is something the administration had 4 years to put forward, they failed to do. So for the way I read it, I think it just, it's kind of insulting.
All right. Well, I will say, if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to be 9 members. I think 5 is too low. I think 9 is the strong number. And look, guys, you gotta remember something, whether, we have our differences with the administration. The commissions in the charter says the mayor has the right to appoint those people to certain commissions. Now, the council can have their choices as well, but the mayor also has his choices.
We're not saying he doesn't have choices, but not all 9.
No, that's why we just said, we're gonna refer back and we're gonna update it.
Council Chair, if you don't mind, I don't think, they mean to have a 5, but they're saying in case there's not enough people to serve, 5 is the
Minimum.
Minimum, but let the number be 9, and 5 could be the minimum if we can't find anybody.
Council Chair?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. To define a quorum, is that necessarily one person over half? Or can we make a determination of what a quorum would be?
The quorum has to have, Madam Clerk, you can give the,
Well, I'm sorry. The
Enough to
commission
vote.
will probably make their own bylaws.
Yeah,
So they
we
would
could-
have to, I've never been,
Yeah, we could
some
make a quorum
commissions do
for.
have bylaws.
the commission's gonna create its own bylaws. We aren't creating it for them.
Right.
Because being involved with several commissions, there's a lot of times where you have 7 and then you don't have 4 to hold a meeting. You can hold a meeting, but you can't vote on anything, do any business. If we have 5 or 9, we'd like to have 9, right, or 7. The fact that we could just say 4 is a quorum would be nice, but that would be up to the commission, you're saying?
Yeah, the bylaws.
The bylaws?
Which is good. You can even say, you need 3 to have a quorum.
Yeah.
Of the 9. All right, let's refer this back to administration with those changes. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it, motion carries. Next up, we have comments from council members.
Council Chair,
Councilman?
I have a few things I want to talk about tonight. Number one is that, my heart goes out to that young man's family that passed away with that accident. Always come to council meetings and said the issue in our city about speeders and reckless drivers, especially in neighborhoods. This is unbelievable. It's something that the city does not have under control, and I bluntly say that. Our police officers are overworked, understaffed, but it also starts at home. The first line of defense is the parents. And the parents need to educate their kids. A car is a weapon. They have a fancy car, fast car, slow car, a car is a weapon. And it all starts at home, folks. It always starts at home. You can blame the city, the police department, anybody you want, but it starts at home. It starts at home, unfortunately. The police can't be everywhere. The police aren't babysitters, unfortunately. And my heart goes out to that family again, but I always tell to every resident listening, everybody here in the audience, that it starts at home. It really does. It starts at home. Educate your kids. Discipline your kids. It's not our job to babysit and discipline kids in the city. It's just not. And unfortunately, when the police do enforce the laws and everything, the police are the bad people. So that's that. And second of all, I want to welcome and congratulate our acting chief, Ahmed Haidar. Known Ahmed for decades. Ahmed's a great guy, straight up guy, and he's got a lot of challenges.
Please.
Step up to the podium. if you'd
Step up
like.
to the podium.
Make your debut today. Those. We had to get one bald person up there today. Cooper took off on you.
Right. My name is Ahmed Haidar. I'm the acting chief for now. And I've heard, you guys have come in here and you guys have stated your complaints, and trust me, I hear where you guys are coming from, and I understand your complaints, and we wish to address them all of them. Mr. Bazzi, I paid him a visit the other day about his situation, and it was a really nice conversation that we had about the speeders. We had an unfortunate situation the other night in our city where a 16-year-old youth lost his life. It was a bad scene for all of us, for the police, for the family. And we have some things that are coming within the next week or two that are going to address these problems. We've sat down and we've brainstormed. There's 3 or 4 active things that we're working on. Tomorrow we're meeting with Crestwood. We have some things planned at Crestwood that we're going to put in place as soon as possible. We have a traffic enforcement blitz that's coming next week that's involving the state police, Wayne County, Dearborn, and Dearborn Heights. It's going to go for a week. The one thing that I like the most is the part about the educational part that everybody talked about. I know that we can't be parents and we can't talk to these kids all the time, but we have something in place where we're going to monitor kids from the age of 16 and 21 that receive violations in the city of Dearborn Heights. When they receive these violations and they appear in court in front of the, Judge Turfy or Judge, what's the other judge name? Pilecki. They appear in front of him. There will be a, whatever plea they plead to, or impeding traffic or whatever it's plead down to, they have to attend what we're going to call, we haven't came up with a name yet, but for now we'll call it night school with the police. And they're going to come and they're going to sit down with us for a couple hours. The ages 16 and 17, the parents, one parent must attend. Anybody from the age of 17 and 21 can come on their own. But it's mandated that they have to appear at the police station and take a 2-hour course with us. And we are going to have slides. We're going to have different things that we're going to show them. We're going to educate them on driving. Hopefully, we're going to reach out to the community and get people to come in and give their stories. Like, for example, the other night, if we get the mother to show up, or someone just in that same situation to give their story about how they lost their loved ones, so these kids can see it. It's touching, and that's what we plan on doing. We're going to address the traffic situation as much as we can. So the traffic situation is a trust. Response time, it's another thing we're working on. You know, we live in the city of Dearborn Heights. There's no reason why anybody should have to wait 8 to 10 minutes for a police officer to show up. And it will be addressed. So just bear with me. Give me some time. You know, I promise you we'll get it right. Thank you.
Mr. Haydar, a few other things I have for you, and I'm not trying to bombard you.
Go ahead.
Since we have you here. I appreciate the efforts that you are putting forward and everything. But we have a serious issue in the city, not just on main roads. Our biggest issue in traffic is neighborhoods. They're drag races. They
Yes.
drag race down neighborhoods. I mean, this is something going on for, I think, the past 4 chiefs that have stood in front of this podium in front of you, and I've told them the same thing. Like, our neighborhood streets that's where it starts. You fly down our neighborhood streets, get on a main road flying. We don't have enough police. And that's an issue. I mean, our police, I know we're down about 15 to 20 officers.
Yes.
We've asked multiple times before this administration and chiefs before you, do we need officers? Do we need vehicles? They said no. The department's fully staffed. We got more cars than we need. I mean, I ask you now on this podium, is that true?
Whoever came to you and told you that, delusional. You know, we need more police officers. Listen, I can tell you this right now. We have a budget for 45 police officers. That's not enough. You're not going to do it with 45. I've come to this department and we don't have a traffic enforcement.
Yep.
We don't have a narcotics unit. We had 2 overdoses in the South End yesterday. We have no one there's no one here that investigates fentanyl use, opioid use, narcotics use. We don't have a narcotics unit. We don't have a special ops, okay? We don't have.
Nothing from the audience, please stop.
We don't have members on the department that are at task forces. Task forces are huge for departments. You know, Violent Crimes Task Force, the United States Marshals. We don't have officers that are working with these federal task forces that can bring their resources back into the city. We don't even have that. So I hate to bring up manpower because people are always going to combat you with.
No, and I don't want to cut you off. I'd rather hear the truth.
Yes.
Than hear a cover-up on a page put on, because the residents, this is the complaint we get every single day from residents is police, 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 police. And I promise you, the police is out there. But, you can only push a police officer to a certain limit. He's also human, or she's also human. But
I mean, you can't expect the officers to enforce traffic violations, traffic laws, if they're from run to run.
Correct, 100%.
Call services, they're on the north end, they're going to the south end. It's a difficult task, and they're working all this overtime to continue to police the streets of Dearborn Heights, and they're getting burned out also. We need police officers. There's no way. I'll be honest with you, I was at the scene the other day, and it was myself and 3 officers and a sergeant. And then I looked around, and there was probably 10 to 12 Dearborn police officers there. And I said to myself, what's going on right now? How is it possible that Dearborn has so many vehicles at our scene, and without them, we wouldn't have been able to handle that scene. Without the help of the state police, it would have been bad for us. So I come to you guys, and I mean, you can see that I'm asking for help. And I don't, if I last a year or if I last 6 months, I don't care. At the end of the day, if I can leave this department and have 65 police officers on the force, and we have a traffic unit, we have someone addressing narcotics, and we have someone at a task force, we don't even have a community relations police officer.
So my final thing to you is that the administration always says we're working on a world-class police department. We're far from that. I'm taking it.
Yeah, we're far from that.
Very far.
Very far.
So if we were to say where our police department stands today in a grade, where the department is today, as you and your leadership and what you're trying to make, where you are today, what would you grade the police department? Not the men and women that are serving every day, the police department itself.
I've graded a B.
A B?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We need to improve, though.
I just want to echo a few things here. And I want to thank you for here and coming on and being with us. And I know these are the things that you're pleading for. And I hate to tell you this, Mr. Haydar. I can tell you there are many residents, Pamela Swarple, Sue Kaminsky, Angela Venegas, Rose Trepepi, Mr. Owen, who have been pleading to the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different police chiefs that we've had, commissioners and everything that's going on. You know what they've done? Dismantled TSP, dismantled all the special units that you have just asked, saying we need. They stood before us, me on council, 3 years ago and said, we don't need this. We're building a world-class police department. We're rebuilding. We're doing this. And we constantly heard. All I'm going to ask from you as the acting police chief, and I'm not going to, run anybody's name through the mud. Don't do whatever the rest that left this place and said that there's corruption and these officers are bad and these officers are this and these. Look, man, these guys go home at the end of the day. They have their own problems. They have their own families. They have their own friends. I can tell you right now, in 5 years that I've heard that there's corruption in the police department, zero things have been brought forward with corruption on police officers. All I ask me to you is, they need to be treated a lot better. I hope that you can be able to provide that for them.
Yeah, I agree. We've had conversations one-on-one with them, and they've addressed, some of the issues that they have with what's going on with past administration.
And the one thing that I say to every police chief, and I know you and I have had this conversation, and I've said this to every police chief since I've been the councilman. Be the police chief for the city of Dearborn Heights. Don't be Mo Beydoun's police chief. Don't be Rogers' police chief. Don't be Bill Bazzi's police chief. Be the police chief for the city of Dearborn Heights.
Yeah,
represent those men and women.
I agree.
That's all we ask for.
I agree.
Thank you.
Council Chair, I wasn't done yet.
Okay, you said I was able to go. That's
Yeah.
one reason why I spoke.
Yeah, but you had a question.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
back to Mr. Haydar, back to the police department. And I want to echo Council Chair's words that the police department just deserves more, the men and women of the police department deserve more respect. In the past couple of years, they've been tarnished, corruption, ticket fixing, you name it. And DOJ, FBI, investigations that they can't talk about, none of it has been true. They tarnished the department by being fixated around these investigations. Not one single officer has been charged or anything's ever been brought forward for an officer. And I want to echo what Councilman Beydoun said, is that be the city's police chief and the department's chief. And you would have support from the whole city.
Thank you.
And I know you came from Detroit. I've reached out to you before, and I know what unit you worked in and you ran, and I know you're a cop. You don't got an ego. I know you're a cop, and I really hope you can do great things in the city.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. But you may go next, because I do want you to know, you said you were done when I spoke.
You said you had a question.
No, yeah, you said my last thing. Thank
I'm
you.
all set.
Thank you. I just want to make that clear. He did tell me it was last thing. Okay. Are you done? So now you're done with public comments on Councilman Saab. Are you going next for?
Yeah, I want to ask the chief.
Are you going on public comments?
I can.
Thank you. Go to public comments. You can go after.
Thank you, Council Chair. Thank you, Chief, for being here, and I would like to welcome you to the city.
Thank you.
I know you mentioned the program for the youth, which is, I think it's an amazing program. But I had a question. So if they don't elect to show up, what happens next?
Well, whatever plea they were agreed to, it will no longer stand.
Okay.
So it's part of their plea agreement. They come in, they plead to impeding traffic, and the judge will tell them, well, not only are we pleading this ticket to impeding traffic, you have to attend this class.
Thank you, Chief. The second thing is, I've always been, and I think everybody here has always been proud of our men and women in the dispatch center. But whatever I heard today from Mr. Bazzi was really alarming. Why? Because I had the same complaint a few weeks back, which previous interim chief Farhat took care of it. I had the same thing, same complaint. I mean, is there something, going on with the dispatch? Is there something we could do or to address this?
I mean,
Did they go?
what I understand from what I'm seeing, we have a young dispatch
Okay.
corps of civilians that are working as our dispatch 911 operators.
Mhm.
And we're going to continue to train and continue to teach them on, demeanors and conversations with people when they have a crisis situation going on and when they call into 911. That individual, we've pulled the tapes, and we are going to review the tapes and then find out if there was some type of reprimand that needs to be submitted or some type of counseling.
I would really appreciate the acting chief for that. I think is the dispatch would be the first line of defense, if you want to call it. But if I'm in trouble, I need to call the police. I'm not gonna have that kind of behavior. it's not acceptable at all, so.
I agree.
So I do thank you for addressing this. But should I go ahead with my public comments?
Yes.
Or
Okay.
I also would like to echo,
I'm so sorry, this is a housekeeping matter. Is this,
Let's go to the chair. He's on public comments.
I mean, for announcements of administration, we have
No,
someone
we're still
else.
on public comments from councilman.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to echo Councilman Saab's too about my heart and prayers goes to the family of the deceased young man. And I hope we can take another moment of silence, Council Chair, and a prayer probably for his family and for him to rest in peace.
God bless his soul.
Thank you, everyone. And I would like also to review the residents will be receiving the assessment forms in the next couple of weeks. And March Board of Review will be held March 17th through the 19th. So if anybody, Council Chair, has any issue with their tax assessment, they can fill the application and submit it to the assessor's office before that time, and they can schedule an appointment, make sure to schedule an appointment. They can be reached at 313-791-3460. Thank you, Council Chair.
Councilwoman Menalowski, next up.
Yeah, it's more about the reckless driving in the city. Personally, myself, at 13 years old, my cousin was killed in a car accident. I learned at a young age, not only did I lose a cousin, my family was never the same. It affects the whole family. It seems like yesterday, hearing my aunt and uncle talk about how the police came to their home, I saw personally how this car accident destroyed my family, and I've vowed never to do the same thing to my family. It made me a more cautious driver. And that was a hard way to be educated. You need to get the kid, we need to educate them before the family, they get to see what happens to the family. It's not good. It's not good. My grandmother was never the same. Nobody was. That's it.
If you don't mind, I have the same words, Councilwoman, because I have a 13-year-old, and I keep thinking about in probably a year and a half, he's going to start driving. So, Chief, I want to ask you, I don't know, if once somebody gets their driver license or get their permit, is there any way we could do like a program where the minute they get their permit or driver license, they can go through something similar to that program you're talking about? At least they can see it before they start driving, so at least they can start driving.
So I have an answer for you.
Okay.
So the same program that we're going to be putting together, this night school with the police, that same program is going to be put into schools.
Okay.
So the school resource officers are going to be in the schools with the same slides, with the same presentation that we make to the 16 to 21-year-olds. That same school resource officer will be doing that in the schools. So we'll be getting these kids at 13, 14, 15. We'll be able to talk to them and show them these slides and give them these stories at the high school level. So it doesn't, it's not only just 16 between 21 and repeat violators.
That's an
It's
excellent
gonna be-
idea, but what about the schools that doesn't have a resource officer? Because I know we have a lot of schools, they don't have resource officers. What happened to those?
I'm sure we can figure something out to get these resource officers to go to these schools and give these presentations. I'm sure we can. It shouldn't be a problem. Any school in the city of Dearborn Heights will be getting this program put into their school.
Sounds good. Thank you, Chief.
And then we're also, I don't know if I told you guys, but we're bringing ComStat back. Community ComStat, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Community ComStat.
We were never invited to, but we got an invite this time.
Yeah, there's an email sent out today. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but we're bringing that back every first Wednesday of the month. We're going to be at the police station, and then we're going to review crime for the month of, for example, when we do this month coming up in March, we will be reviewing crime for February.
By the way, I just want you to know, we're on public comments. You're going to be able to give an update next on updates from the administration.
Okay.
I thank you for taking all the jabs and all the answers. You're doing a great job. Any other councilman? Councilman Wenzel.
Thank you, Council Chair. The things the chief just brought up is another reason why we should have this unity conference. I mean, we don't know the things that he wants to implement. I mean, if he came to us and said, hey, I need this, and gave us a good reason for it, we'd approve it, we'd do budget amendments, and we don't want just us council members to know all these things. We want the residents to know all these things that are going on. And if we approve something and, you know, we want the residents to know why we're approving it, why are we approving 10, 100,000 or whatever. And we need like a public relations company to promote our police department to potential candidates to come work here.
Yes.
I mean, right now, I mean, I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want to put it bad, right? But, you know, I'm gonna say, and we need everyone's input. We want everyone to know that we're trying to move forward with the police. I mean, the fire department, they have no problem. Everybody loves the firefighters, right? Because they come in and they help you put out your fires. The police, they write you tickets. But like I said earlier, a safe city is the main thing. I mean,
Yes.
Safe city, well, we need a fire department to have a safe city too. But, so we just need to know, you know, the need, what you need. I mean, yeah, a plan. It'd be nice to have a public forum and having everyone there and, you know, all the directors say, well, this is my plan. You were just mentioning these things.
Yeah.
And it's here and people are watching here, but it'd be nice to have it done so everyone somehow, it's in the newspapers or some kind of, on websites put out there to know, because we can't ask people to do something unless we show them that we're making an effort to improve.
Yes.
You know, and it sounds like you've got some good
Yes.
some good
Yeah.
plans, and I was excited just to listen to you talking
Well,
about it.
I can tell you this, and I'm going to say this, and when I tell you this, money does a lot. And I'm not asking for money for police officers. We'll deal with that on another day. But whatever you guys did, I don't know how long you guys were negotiating. The police officers' unions, the police officers' contract in the city of Dearborn Heights, which is going to be presented here in the next month or so to get approved, is amazing. It's amazing. So the officers make good money here. So there's no reason why you're not going to get officers to come here. I was born and raised in Dearborn Heights, 40 years. They're going to come. They're going to come. The contract that was approved by you guys and by the city and the councilman, whoever negotiated it, it's an amazing contract. So if you're worried about officers coming here, put that to rest. They're going to come.
Well, I wish I believed that. I hope that's true. I know we're losing a couple more, 2 or 3 real soon here, two
Yes.
more officers.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was really sad to hear that. But, I mean, I'll take your word for it, and that's the reason we approved the contract, right? To make it more desirable to come and work in Dearborn Heights.
That's
You know, and that's
probably top 5 in the state.
Yeah. Well, let's get them. Let's get them here.
Yeah.
Put them in some cars. Okay, and also on a different subject, or kind of, I have my 16-year-old just got her driver's license, and they do something similar with showing the tragic scenes of accidents during driver's education to an extent.
Yes.
So they do go through a program like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Are you all done here?
Oh, wait, I got one thing. With the snow coming up in a couple of days, my nonprofit Jamie's Kids, our neighbor labor, we picked up a couple more houses to shovel. We do need some volunteers to shovel snow this next couple days. If you're interested in helping out, because right now we have a crew doing 2 or 3 houses, where I'd rather have just send one crew to one house and have everything taken care of. But if you're interested in helping out shoveling snow, you can get a hold of me through Facebook or call me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Mr. Owen wants to volunteer.
Thank you, guys.
Let's do this. I will just close off by saying, my heart goes out to Ahmed Badli and his family. That's the gentleman's name that lost his life. My heart is with him. My heart is with his family. Allah yarhamu. Truly, I am truly pain for his mother is going through. I also read today on Facebook, my friend Nan Berry lost her dog today. You know, when I read that this morning, I just kept looking at my dog Sophie, and I was just like it's going to happen one day. And really to think about, I was once the person that used to think, oh, why do these people love their dogs so much? And then I got mine, and here I am 5 years later. And I swear, if God forbid something were to happen to Sophie, it truly is a devastating feeling. And so really my heart is with her, and I'm so sorry for the loss of her pet. And then Councilman Wenzel here spoke about it. We are about to see a huge storm tomorrow night. It's going to move into Thursday. We expect it to be clean. I hear on Thursday there could be some sun that's going to make things easier for DPW. I asked the residents at home to please park your cars on the street. I asked the administration to please, beforehand, issue out a snow emergency sirens before the snow starts. I asked the DPW, who's gonna go, work 13, 14 hours because there's only so many hours that they can do. I asked that you please be safe on the roads, hopefully we don't miss anything and do our best, because I know the men and women of the DPW do a great job. And then after Thursday happens, I asked the administration to please, the mayor, Saturday's about to have a big snowstorm as well. They show out a state of emergency. If the police department needs to go out and give tickets, please go out and give tickets. If people are parking their car while there's a snow emergency, tow it. Get them out of there. It's not fair to the residents that are saying, I moved my car, I want my street to look clean, but we're leaving their cars out on there. So my ask is, let's work as a community. That's what we need to do. In order for us to unite, we need to all work together. You sit there bickering around and fighting back for it's never gonna work. Also, this weekend, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all the beautiful women in our city in attendance with us that are on Zoom, that are on Facebook, that are watching, to your spouses, your sisters, all your cousins that are girls. Happy Valentine's Day to all you guys.
What about the guys?
That would be Sweetest Day.
Doesn't matter.
Thank you. Nothing from the audience. Happy Valentine's Day to my beautiful wife. I have a sister named Valentine who's born on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day and happy birthday to my sister this coming week. And lastly, I know I stress this enough, but to this honorable body here, you guys all do a phenomenal job. You guys show up every single day to any council meeting, to any study session. You take the heat on social media. I've been getting many phone calls and people are just like, I've been reading some of the comments on social media, I should say, and they're like, the council meetings are a show, and I shouldn't be swearing, but I'm gonna say it. Saying the city council meetings are a show. Bull crap. I say you guys are doing a phenomenal job. You guys are fighting for what you guys promised to do. You guys, we look united. You guys look strong. Regardless if we all may not agree or disagree sometimes, we're staying respectful. And I want you guys to know you guys are all doing a phenomenal job, and run applause to all my council colleagues, because you guys are doing a phenomenal job.
Same thing.
To the administration, we may not see eye to eye all the time. I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job to some certain degree. I think the administration needs to stay out of the police department, allow the police chief to do his own thing, and there should not be any oversight from our administration. Enough's enough. Leave the men and women alone. Let them figure it out. Thank you to our amazing firefighters, and thank you to our great residents. Happy holidays. God bless you all. Thank you to our clerk and our treasurer as well.
Thank you.
Hey, Council Chair, you brought up something I want to ask the chief about. I was contacted by a resident, said they have 3 cars and their driveway can only facilitate 2 cars, but to get the 3rd car off the street, they'd have to be in the approach and over the sidewalk.
And it's over the sidewalk.
Would they be considered in violation and potentially get a ticket for that?
Yes.
Not during a snow emergency.
Not during a snow emergency.
Not during a snow emergency,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know, I'm not sure if I'll do the research on this. Some people don't have driveways. We do give them access to park in the streets during garbage day, trash pickup day. They'll get a piece of paper they put in their windshield during that morning.
Thank you.
I'll do the research. I'll get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Now we're going to open up to administration.
Thank you, Council Chair. I just wanted to say, in terms of what you mentioned about the number of police officers, Chief Brogan and Chief Hyder have.
The best fire chief, Brogan.
The best fire chief, Brogan.
Yeah.
Brought to my attention one thing, is the response time for our EMS and our officers is affected by a number of institutions that call on the police that should not. For instance, we had 368 runs last year to Vista Maria, which great institution, but they should be having, and some of the nursing homes, the other places should have their own staff responding to these incidences and use of force. We had one of our officers injured at Vista Maria responding to a call, and we've had over at least two firefighters injured responding to facilities that should be handling it themselves. So we've put an ordinance together. We'll be getting it to you. I would ask that you read it and give the comments back to us. You have the blight ordinance that we've given you. We ask you just get back. I've not heard from anyone yet. Mr. Wenzel was kind enough to say with Bill DeShroon that he's going to look at it, get back to us, but I'm sure all of you, please. We would appreciate that, and it would help tremendously. We're also looking at what's called a fog ordinance, which is fat, oil, and grease. the deal as Councilwoman Maxwell had brought up, making sure that when our ordinance officers go out and inspect the businesses, they will be checking for the grease and that other communities are doing around us. And we're behind in our ordinance. Our buildings department, our plumbing inspectors brought it to my attention. We've met on that, and we're finishing up the final language for you guys to review. And I thank you for that opportunity. I would also add, I think, as this is Black History Month, and we have 10% of our residents are African American. I've been honored to participate in Southfield's Kappa League's inaugural Frederick Douglass debate and oratorical contest as a judge with a number of other judges, including the Corporation Council of Oakland County. But I think it's interesting that our young people, it'll be ninth grade to 12th grade, would be asked to do something like that. And I want us to remember we have different groups in our city, and we have to remember, honor things such as February. Since 1976, presidents have been honoring Black History Month, and I think we should take it and note it. We didn't say anything today about it, but that's, not neither here nor there. So I thank you, and I think that if we can just look at that as a segue to other, so does the Gaza issue and other things that we have out there, get our young people debating, bringing the issues up. We're targeting 5 speeches by Frederick Douglass, incredible about humanity, slavery, and the human conscience. But I think that I'm not just about speeches, as Mr. Saab says. I like debating, and I think that we should look at other issues and open up to our city of Dearborn Heights.
Thank you, Roger. I think everybody here knows you love to debate.
But Council Chair, that's his opinion.
Thank you. Come on, point of order. Let's go. Anyone else from the administration?
Announcements?
Yep, announcements from administration.
Okay, I have some announcements. We will be having an Ecorse Creek meeting on the 26th, which is a Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Westwood Community School District Board Office, 3335 South Beach Daily. And then on Thursday, the 27th, South Dearborn Heights Civic Association will have their meeting at 7 p.m., same location.
Thank you so much. Any other announcements? Great. We'll open up to public comments. How you doing, sir? Please state your name, the city you reside in, and the street that you live on.
Good afternoon. Can I get my extra minute?
I'm going to honor your extra minutes.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Hold on one. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
I got this. I come here all the time.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Hassan Ayan. It's a very concerning issue when I hear about public safety. You guys know how I am about public safety. I speak about it all the time. So if we're saying we got 40 officers in Dearborn Heights, this is an emergency. I don't know if you guys know what an emergency is. So I think we're going to have to bring Wayne County in, and we're going to put a resolution, Mr. Baidoun, or Mr. Winslow, or Mr. Saab, or Denise, or Mr. Ahmed, or Mr. Nancy. All I'm going to tell you is that there has to be a resolution that for 1 year, we're going to have to bring Wayne County. I'm not disrespecting the police, but there's 40 police. Imagine right now, how many police officers work the afternoon shift? How many police officers work the night shift? How many detectives are working? How many sergeants is there? How many patrol is there? Are we missing 30 patrol officers? 10 at night, 10 in the morning? We have to bring Wayne County to do the traffic enforcement. And if Wayne County needs to come in for 1 year and give them a contract for 1 year until you guys figure out what you're going to do. 1 year from today's date, or whenever you guys want. February 25th is the next council meeting. You guys want to talk about public safety? You worried about these residents that come to this meeting, or you worried about the residents, what's it called? Make a resolution. You can bring Wayne County and pay them, or they get paid from the tickets, or whatever you guys want to figure out how payment is going to be, what's it called? If you guys don't have the funding, Wayne County can come do the traffic, and if you guys need them to do a run, they can do a run. help with the run. Michigan State Police is not gonna come every day, buddy. We can bring Wayne County, give them a contract, because Melvindale brought them in, and I think Dearborn Heights needs to bring them in right now. What is it gonna happen until we see another shooting or overdose? Mr. Hyder said there was 2 overdoses. And nobody can address the situation. What are we gonna do? If somebody wants to come open shop as a drug dealer, oh, he'll come open in Dearborn Heights. We got narcotics. It's a no-brainer. How many times did there people come and we had, what was that place? Livonia, come in and do a raid. People understand that this is a very, very hot topic. I know, Mo, by doing you don't want to bring Wayne County. You don't want to make it like we're a bad city here. But if we need help, we got to address this immediately.
Can I pause your time?
Yes.
I believe in letting the police department make its decisions. And I think we have a
But
new
you got to
chief.
understand, if you see 40 cops missing and you want to put it all on the police department, this gentleman is not going to come tell you, I need Wayne County, because it makes his department look not doing their job. It's the council's job to sit there and see there's 40 police officers missing. There's something wrong. Don't point the fingers on the police station. He's not going to come to this podium and say, I need officers. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm just saying to bring Wayne County. He's not going to tell you, I need Wayne County. If you don't have the funding, you got to bring another outside agency to help.
Can you just not yell, please?
Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you, this is very hot topic for me.
Let's just not yell.
When it comes to, no, don't tell me. This is coming from the heart, something you don't understand. I'm a very hearted person when it comes to public safety, Mr. Baydun. 30 minutes, oh, you want to give me what is this, man? 60 minutes, you're taking my time up. You just want me to stop talking, that's what it is. Yeah, it sounds right.
No. No.
It's a very hot topic. When I see kids, when it comes to overdose, Mr. Baydun, it's a very hot topic for me. And you should know why.
Absolutely, Mr.
Please, I'm begging you, if you need Wayne County, don't ask the gentleman over here, Mr. Haida.
Your time is up.
Please, you gave me 30 seconds, it said.
I actually give you 4 minutes. Mr. Owen, come on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, but make sure, resolution for Wayne County, I'm counting on you.
Okay, you got it.
Make America great again like Trump.
Council Chair, just for the record, we do have 45 officers and 20 command, correct, Chief?
21 command.
21 command.
45 road patrol officers, that's what we're.
I'm sorry?
It's 45 road patrol officers.
Correct, 45 road patrol.
But let's not also say that we still are down several line of officers.
We are down, just to make it clear, we do, like, our police department is not only 40.
Yeah.
It's 45 plus the 21 plus the chief, so it's about close to 60, so close to 70, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question too. Out of the officers that we have, how many are on personal leave, whether it be disability or personal, that are not there full-time?
The only ones that I know of right now are a sergeant who's off on personal leave, a female who just took FMLA, and there was an officer who's still on our books who was involved in an accident, and then 6 months later fell at a raid location and he injured his back. So those are the only 3.
Okay, because I had heard at one time it was 12, but I didn't know if that was still true.
I mean, there's a little bit more than just that, but.
I don't know of 3.
Okay.
Yeah, those are 3 that have been brought to me. I don't know of any others that are off.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements from the public?
Administration, or no, public, sorry.
Public, yeah.
I don't have an announcement. I don't have an announcement, but I took notes. Renee from Annapolis. So, first of all, I want to thank everybody for making all the criminals aware that we're down on police officers and all the problems
She
that we're
gets it,
having.
man. She gets it.
I just don't understand how they could possibly, knowing this is on YouTube, they're going to get up here and say, yeah, somebody needs to get a screwdriver. Okay, a couple notes I wrote, which, first of all, Councilman Hassan Saab. Okay, I'll try again. Thank you very much for being very attentive to the bills and the things that you're passing, the paychecks that are going out, and for stopping some and having the courage to to bring those things up and stopping. When I first came here, like I said, everybody was just blanket okay and everything, and now you guys have really gotten down to the nitty gritty where you're picking these things out and cherry picking out things that don't belong there, and you're actually recognizing them and talking about them and working to a solution. Sometimes the solutions are going to be you're just going to have to pass something that you don't want to pass, but now you're aware. And one of the things that I appreciate that you did was when you said that, did they bring up what you asked them for before you would pass it? And then if they didn't meet the requirements, you didn't pass it. And as far as paying the bill for the electricity or whatever, whoever's passing these things and saying you owe $7,000, my heart feels bad for the contractor that did it, but it's not for you to pass it just because he did the work. Then that's everybody that does work, they're going to expect you to pay it and just blanket okay it. Sorry, when the contractors know that they're not going to get paid from the city unless they follow the correct pattern, they're going to start questioning who's okaying their bills. So the contractors might have to take a bite for a while. The citizens might have to take a bite for a while on some things that are going to fall through the cracks, but the cracks are going to get filled because of that, because you're going to find out that unless the contractor makes it the right way, you're not going to get the pay. So the other thing is the water bill. I was thinking for the last couple of months, and a couple of years, like, hey, how come I don't have to read that little dial anymore, in my house? Like, what's going on, And it's been on my mind, and now I'm afraid to read the dial and turn it in because I might get socked with the big old water bill, So I'm kind of worried about that, but I think I might just do it just to see what it is, and
John,
I
I'm
might
gonna help you.
I might need to take an extra job, so I'll, volunteer somewhere and make up water bill payments. Also, speeding in the neighborhoods, on the neighborhood streets. You know what? 30 seconds. Better go fast. Hey, I agree. A lot of that starts at home. They got to educate the kids. You're not responsible. The police aren't responsible. These kids are responsible. They got to be taught right and wrong. Also, police education program. I'm going to get with you because I have an idea. And then police burnout. That's a big thing. Oh, snow on snow days. My street, they park on there. They don't care. But I saw a YouTube video where the contractors came and just pushed the cars as they were going. They go, who cares? If you got to park in the street, we're going to push your car. I know it's probably not good.
Thank you.
One more thing, one thing though. Car trackers. Parents can put car trackers on their kids on the cars, and they can. And every time it says speeding, because I know we put it on a senior's car that we have to watch, and every time they're speeding, it alerts the parent.
My sister has that on all her kids' cars.
So parents, hey, car trackers.
Thank you so much. 360. Whose microphone is that? Just push it down a little bit. The house cash.
Yeah, it's a short in here. It just needs to be adjusted.
All right.
Turn it off, maybe?
All right, if you leave it there and don't touch it, it'll work.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the audience? Seeing none, we'll move it to Zoom. I know we have Sue K. Today she changed it. Usually says iPhone.
Hi, everybody. Sue Kaminsky, Amboy Street, Dearborn Heights, Golfview Manor. Golfview Manor used to be one of the safest subdivisions in the city, and it's not anymore. We had a car stolen out of a driveway off of Clearview this last weekend. We have no police patrols. When Bill Bozzi took office as mayor, Mark Myers was chief. We had 80 officers. We had a traffic bureau, narcotics, special units, undercover. We had officers that went on loan. Bill Bozzi destroyed that single-handedly. And I welcome the new chief, Chief Hadar, and I hope you're not a puppet to Bill Bozzi, because if you are, you won't be serving the people. And if you're not a puppet, you'll probably be police chief for a month, just like Chief Farhat, because he wasn't a puppet. So I wish you well. I would like to remind you that Crestwood is not the only school district, D7 and Westwood, as well as some charter schools. And then I also hope that you respect and you know what Act 78 is and you follow it, because the citizens of Dearborn Heights passed it. and it hasn't been followed, and it is the sole demise of our police department. And we, the citizens, are in trouble. And I want to thank Bill Bossie for one thing. He brought to attention that our city charter needs to be looked at. Mayor Duggan just announced a police chief, and he appointed him, but the city council has 30 days to vote for him. Our city charter needs changed because, God forbid, we have another mayor like Bill Bossie. We can't trust him to make any appointments at all because he's not capable. And therefore, we have to put checks and boundaries there so he can't do this, or someone of his likes can't do this again. So I encourage council to get a charter commission going because we need some changes to our charter. And I want to thank our council for all they do. And I also want to remind people when they come up and speak, it's Mr. Wenzel, it's Mr. Baydoun, it's Ms. Maxwell, it's Ms. Breyer, and not Nancy or Denise. That's demeaning, and shame on the person that did it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sue. I appreciate that. Anyone else in the audience? Anyone else in the Zoom? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Council Chair, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Saab, seconded by Councilwoman Menalowski Maxwell. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it, motion carries. Have a great night.